Ladies and gentlemen, it is Friday, and we are going to begin this transmission by informing the audience that the world seems to be about to end. As is always the case, in the wise words, as we've covered, of Jim Morrison, the future's uncertain and the end is always near. Bak has been working all day today preparing the clips for tonight's transmission, and boy, oh boy, am I ever excited to talk to you, have you with us, have the super chats. I know Honey Badger's listening. As we break down all of the latest details, namely the enrichment deal with Saudi Arabia could be falling through, at least temporarily. Laura Loomer interviews Zelensky. All of these Charlie Kirk texts come out between Charlie Kirk and Candace Owens, revealing that he really was turning on the entire Zionist movement. I don't want to say Jewish movement because there are Jewish people that aren't Zionists, but the entire Zionist movement, and she waited so patiently while the Andrew Kolvets, the Erika Kirks, the TPUSA leadership, if you want to call it that, antagonized and said she was lying, and antagonized and said she was lying, and antagonized and said she was lying. And then now she releases these communications, and it's very obvious that regardless of what you think happened in terms of Charlie Kirk's assassination, he certainly had flipped the script or changed his position on the influence of Jewish donors, saying that they meted every stereotype, they manifested every stereotype of Jewish people, that they were corrupt, that $2 million a year was pulled here, $2 million a year was pulled there. They were losing Jewish donors rapidly. Of course, as soon as he dies and Erika Kirk takes over as CEO, she reverses Charlie's reversal, refuses to condemn the war in Iran, something Charlie explicitly stated he was opposed to, refuses to endorse Thomas Massie, despite the fact that Charlie said Thomas Massie was one of his favorite Congress members of all time. And now we see that TPUSA has been hijacked by a psychopath, a sociopath. And listen, I don't want to beat a dead horse on the Erika Kirk thing. We've got so many other things that we're going to be talking about. The latest in artificial intelligence with Opus 5 dropping. We've got developments with Amazon laying off its AI team because AGI is thought to be here very soon. We've got radiation contamination in the atmosphere in the United States of America. We've even got clips here about the Ark of the Covenant. Okay, so we're going to be hitting all of the major news, but there's something that's really going to be on my mind up until 2028, and God forbid, from 2028 to 2032. And I talked about this a little bit in my debate last night on this very channel with Viva Frei. Viva and I had a very cordial debate. He's somebody who I consider to be a friend of mine. He's always been a friend of InfoWars, very supportive of Alex Jones during the lawfare that Alex experienced. So I really do adore Viva. But we had a friendly debate, a friendly conversation last night about Candace's content, what happened to Charlie, whether it was a lapel microphone explosion or a gunfire that actually killed him. And we just agreed to disagree. It was fun. We had a lot of laughs, actually. I recommend that you watch it if you want to see something like that. But we've got this issue with TPUSA that I really want to discuss. Right now, they're just on a 30,000-foot level. There's something very politically complicated going on, but it's also very simple. It's both. Many brilliant, fascinating, interesting, worthwhile things are elegantly simple and insanely complex at the same time. We've got this communist leftist regime, which we've had. It's been building and growing and culminating and evolving into this more insidious entity over the course of the last 50, 60, 70 years, basically starting with the Red Scare, going all the way through to today. And then we've got the right, but the right is not unified like it was in 2024. See, Donald Trump in 2016 came out with America First. He said, make America great again, something that Reagan said, something that Bill Clinton said. But the America First notion was something that was novel. And the reason it was so appealing and it resonated with the zeitgeist or the spirit of the times in the United States of America is because there was this subtle great awakening in light of all of the information that people now have access to in the information war. Social media had been blowing up for 10 years at least. By the time Donald Trump ran the first time, everybody had access to high-speed internet for the first time. The information war reached a climax. And because of the massive amount of access to information that people had, there was a subtle underground awakening. And that awakening was that it's not the right versus the left. It's not the Republicans versus the Democrats in the United States of America that will determine our fate. It is the people versus the political class. It was the great epiphany, the great realization that there is no difference between the right and the left. They're two wings on the same bird. There is a uniparty, and America doesn't need a third party. In fact, it needs a second one. This is why we voted for Donald Trump. because of this America First populist awakening. And of course, we saw what happened in 2020. We all rallied, voted for him again on a unified populist front. I even wrote a book in 2016 called The Rise of American Populism, based on this whole entire notion. And of course, we've seen some things from Trump that have disappointed us. He hasn't lived up to what we had hoped he would become as a president in his second term. I'm still glad that I voted for him over Kamala Harris, but certainly that America First notion seems to have been abandoned to at least some extent. Whether he's playing 5D chess, or he sold us out, or he's compromised, I don't know. We'll see. I think time will tell. I actually do believe, unlike the JFK assassination, the MLK assassination, 9/11, I do believe that it will come out and everybody will understand the nature of Donald Trump in the future. Retrospectively, I think we'll understand. But what's happening right now since 2024 is there is a schism in the right, the grand old party, between neoconservatives like the Mark Levins, the Lindsey Grahams, the Mitch McConnells, the Bibi Netanyahus, and the America First conservatives. These would be the Fuenteses, the Clint Russells, the Chase Geisers, the Info Warrior types. And this schism presents vulnerability, obviously, because if we're divided, then we're more vulnerable to overthrow by the left, certainly in 2028. That is a vulnerability that we face here in the United States of America. But there's also tremendous opportunity because, like two little twins in utero, sometimes one twin eats the other. In my prayer is that between 2028 and 2032, here in the United States of America, America First eats the neocons and becomes a whole new renaissance within the right to take total power in 2032. We are not going to have the opportunity to take power in the way that we want in 2028, and we might not even want to, because I have a tendency to think that the candidates that are going to be running for office, for Senate, for House, for the President of the United States, are going to fall into the neoconservative category. Though they'll say some things to try to cater to the new right, not the neoconservatism, but the new alternative right. But it's not going to be until 2032 that we actually truly have massive success among candidates in the America First movement to overthrow this neoconservative movement. So this is why I bring up TPUSA and Erika Kirk so much. This is why I'm obsessed. This is why I'm writing a book called The Real Erika Kirk, where I'm going to accurately, with receipts, do everything I can to take apart the system that is Turning Point USA. Charlie Kirk was a very heroic man. I didn't agree with him oftentimes. He was brave, he was noble, he was naive, and he was true. He was a Boy Scout. And what he developed over the course of the 10 or 15 years that he was building TPUSA and TP Action was the infrastructure that the Republican Party as an organization should have been developing, but failed to do so because, after all, they don't really give a damn. They're part of the Democratic Party. Why would they work so hard to win elections when it's really all just one political Epstein class cabal? And so while the Republican Party as an organization was sitting on its hands, Charlie Kirk, through TPUSA, was funding organizations, contractors, and entities to build ground campaigns in swing states, to target low-propensity conservative voters, to knock on doors, to hand out ballots, to harvest ballots legally. There was a power vacuum that was created by the apathy, the complacence of the neoconservative movement, which believed that it just had the right forever and it could sell us out forever because, after all, it had been working for them for the last 50, 60, or 70 years. But Charlie Kirk said no. Charlie Kirk said, I will build the infrastructure that the Republican Party is failing to build. And through his work, his massive amount of work and dedication to this country, he single-handedly made himself the leader of a massive political movement and institution, not just a cultural movement, but actual infrastructure, actual organization, actual entities, actual teams and leadership and employees and volunteers who can determine whether or not a Republican candidate will be elected in the United States of America for the presidency of the United States of America, specifically. Charlie, because he gained a monopoly on the votes in the swing states, became a king maker. Now, he couldn't necessarily ensure that a Republican would beat a Democrat, but he could certainly ensure that a Republican wouldn't win if he wasn't enthusiastic or didn't endorse one. This is a massive vulnerability. The GOP establishment hated this. The deep state hated this. Israel hated this, certainly since he was pivoting away from his prior Zionist positions. These are all incentives and motives that could have contributed to his assassination. It's perhaps true, the official narrative, that Tyler Robinson killed him because, I don't know, he was mentally ill and upset with Charlie's rhetoric pertaining to the transgender issue, the TQ, the transgender question. But he made himself a kingmaker. And now that he's gone, with Erika Kirk as the CEO of Turning Point USA, with a neoconservative right falling on their knees and worshiping her as if she's Pharaoh, as if she's Cleopatra, as if she's some goddess who descended from the heavens, as if she's Helen of Troy, more likely. Now we have a situation in which a pageant woman with a background deeply connected to the intelligence community, we've seen the CIA promos that she's been involved in, we've seen the stories and the receipts and the reports of the nonprofit that she was involved with that was shut down in Romania. This woman who, in my opinion, I actually agree. I don't agree with Candace all the time, but I agree with her when she says that Erika Kirk is a psychopath. I do not believe this woman has a conscience. I believe she married Charlie because she saw the upward mobility. Many women do this. I believe she married him for the status. I don't think she had anything to do with his death. And I think once he died, she has done nothing but endeavor to exploit that for political and financial power. And now we have a situation in which Erika Kirk, as the leader of TPUSA, can determine who or if any Republican candidate will be the president of the United States if this infrastructure maintains its current status quo. And so if we hope to swallow our evil twin in utero, if the America First movement on the right hopes to swallow the neoconservative movement over the course of the next 6 years so that in 2032 we have a renaissance, a reborn right, a reborn grand old party, a grand new party, then we have to eradicate the infrastructure of TPUSA, because if we allow Erika Kirk to continue to lead this organization, if we allow this organization to continue to have the influence that it has in the swing states, we will never have an America First candidate who will win the presidency of the United States of America ever again, or any of the swing states ever again. This is the reason to attack Erika Kirk. Not because she's off-putting with her pyrotechnics just days or weeks after Charlie's death. Not because she wears blue contacts, which is just generally unnerving to people, that people would fake their eye color. Not because of her background with the CIA. Not because she was a superficial pageant girl or a psychopath. Not because she lied about her history. Not because she had a very questionable nonprofit that was loosely at least associated with human trafficking in Romania. These are all good reasons to, take a second look. But the real reason that we should be attacking Erika Kirk, despite the fact that she's a poor widow, I feel bad that she lost her husband. I feel bad for her children. But the reason we should be attacking her is because if we don't, we will sacrifice our country, our motherland. Lady Liberty, America, will be sacrificed. So we as Americans, as patriots, as working class people, have to choose. We have to choose between whether we're willing to stand up against Erika Kirk at the risk of harming our reputations because of her widow status in order to save this country, or if we would rather protect our personal reputations and allow this country to be sacrificed to neoconservatism, the uniparty cabal, the Epstein class, the political class into the 21st century. And right now, it's more important than ever that we do everything we can to take this country back, because we're running out of chances. We're running out of moves on the chessboard. We're in an artificial intelligence arms race with China. We've got massive conflict in the Middle East. Iran likely already has nuclear weapons. Things seem to be escalating. Kyiv is being droned and bombed every single day by Moscow. China is looking at Taiwan with a watering mouth. North Korea is ready to take South Korea. There's a massive depopulation crisis. There's a conglomeration of our entire economy within an elite technocratic class that believes they are creating God, or that they are God himself. So much vulnerability, a massive surveillance state in place, the risk of World War III, artificial intelligence with the ability to do everything MK Ultra and the Patriot Act did, but with 100 times or 1,000 times or 1,000,000 times the efficiency of what we saw before when it was just suits and quiet rooms and skiffs manipulating the psychology of our entire population. We have generations of young men and women being raised by algorithms controlled, designed, and manipulated by the deep state political class and a technocratic elite which has decided to abandon God in favor of worshiping itself. And we cannot allow Erika Kirk to perpetuate this political system, because this political system will culminate in the eradication of humanity off of the face of the earth. And I don't know about you, but I don't want to see another dark ages. I don't want my children to live through dark ages. I want to fight. I want to get back into the information war on a massive scale. I want you to go to chasegeiser.com, sign up. I want you to go to the YouTube channel, subscribe, share it, turn on bell notifications. I want you to listen to Alex Jones every single day, Harrison Smith every single day, Nick Fuentes, Ian Carroll, Candace Owens. You don't have to agree with all of them, but one thing that we do all unite on is that the establishment must come down, and if we hope to replace it peacefully, then we have to act now, aggressively, and rapidly. That's the only reason I'm doing this show and grinding out 10 subscribers here, 20 subscribers there with Bak Monday, Wednesday, and Friday instead of being with my family. And eventually it will be 5 nights a week, and we've got massive developments happening on this network, but we are at a massive to it, and now we're just tired. We've given up. There's a tendency to be blackpilled, but this is the last lap of the mile, and we're about ready to break a world record as long as we continue to draw breath and keep our eyes forward. I don't know if any of you are runners out there, but if you've ever run track or cross country, one of the first things your coach will tell you, even in junior high, is never look over your shoulder to see how close behind the competition is. I can tell you right now, the neoconservative TPUSA bullshit movement is right behind us, and all we have to do is keep our eyes on the ball and move forward as rapidly, aggressively as possible. Bak, what do you have prepared for the show today?
First things first, thank you, Honey Badger, for being a member to the YouTube channel. He's saying, are we covering the JFK speech today, or did y'all not listen to it? I'm so sorry I didn't include it in my clips, bro. We will try to pull it up later towards the end. And thank you again for the super chat, Honey Badger. Beautiful monologue. He loved that. I miss you on InfoWars AJN. Well, we're on CGN now, baby. We're not going anywhere.
Yep, and our show is not live during any of the live shows on AJN. We did that on purpose because I didn't want to conflict with the morning show or Rex Jones's New American Journal. I didn't want to conflict with Alex's show from 11 to 3 because I don't want to take any momentum away from AJN. I don't want to conflict with Harrison's hosting of War Room from 3 to 6 p.m. We launched this show after InfoWars has done its part for the day so that we can take the information war into the night. Yeah,
I only talk about TPUSA and that EKP because I'm in the media now and I have to, but I'm going to tell you guys right now, I'm never voting again. Any money I get from here is going to go into the network, and then anything else on top, I'm buying more guns, I'm buying more ammo, I'm buying more gold.
I'll vote again, but only if I truly believe.
I don't give a fuck about voting, dude. You know, you want to take away the ballot box, you want to pull this fucking game, you know what's coming next. You know it's the cartridge box after that in Minecraft. I don't give a shit, bro. I'm beyond black-pilled at this point. I've been a prepper my whole life. I'm just going to double down on my preps. There's not going to be a political solution to this.
This is wild. I've been the one that's been negative for weeks. I take an Adderall. I'm the positive one. Now you're
Friday,
the negative one.
And I'm fucking pissed. I'm tired of all the fucking games. I'm tired of all this shit. I love the media, and I know most of warfare is informational. It's 90% information. You see the 10% that's kinetic. That's the tip of the spear. There's a whole logistics chain behind it. If you're in an information war, there's psyops. There's all sorts of things going on. But we're not going to look to a government savior. I don't even fucking want a government savior. I'm just going to become as rugged of an individual as I can. When I get my own place and get back up on my feet, because I just moved down to Nashville, I'm going to start fucking working out 2 times a day again, getting in control of the diet. And yeah, I don't need daddy to come home. My dad left my family when I was fucking 18. I've learned hard truths early on in life, and it's prepared me for this moment. Fuck the government. Do not give a shit about voting. You're not going to vote your way out of this fucking mess. Prepare for balkanization and just pray to God, give it to God, and it was always going to go this way. This is biblical. And that's all I'm going to say on that. But I do love covering the media because I love doing the show with you, Chase.
I love it too.
Yeah.
Thank you, Bak, for being a part of this and moving down from Boston and making this happen. We're going to give this at least 18 more months, and we're going to do everything we can to scale it. And if it takes off, then we'll do it for the rest of our lives.
100%. Until the Civil War. Maybe we can even
do it through the Civil War.
Yeah, we'll do some Civil War, and then we'll stream, and then we'll go back and do some more Civil War, and then we'll
I just can't wait for the NGOs to start funding some massive leftist protests downtown Nashville so we can hit it on the ground.
Oh, good. I'm ready to. I hope Antifa comes to Broadway Street, bro. I'll be there with 2 live streaming cams and my Asian knucks.
Did you ever see me cover the No Kings protests in Austin, Texas?
No.
Okay. Well, let's get into the clips.
All right. No, you can pull it up if you want to, dude.
I don't even know if I can find it. I just wanted to ask if you saw it.
I mean, the title of the show is, should we start with 101 and then we'll backtrack to 100?
We can start with 100 if you want. I don't want to miss it. Let's do that, actually. Let's do what you had in mind. All right, let's play this clip and then we'll unpack.
Is the US-Saudi nuclear deal on or off? And what did Saudi Arabia offer in return? The United States and Saudi Arabia signed a nuclear cooperation agreement on Wednesday, under which US companies would develop the kingdom's nuclear infrastructure for civilian energy purposes. It could potentially allow the country to enrich uranium on its own soil. For years, Saudi access to nuclear power was tied to a larger deal, in which it would normalize ties with Israel. Yet this agreement was signed with no mention of Israel. Predictably, the announcement faced extensive backlash, so Donald Trump backtracked, saying on Truth Social that the agreement was totally subject to Saudi Arabia normalizing ties with Israel. His statement blindsided Saudi officials, who had spoken with top US diplomats just hours earlier.
So, first of all, maybe you have some questions for the people behind me. Please, go ahead.
Hi, Mr. President. I want to ask about the Saudi nuclear deal. This man over your shoulder announces a big deal after 18 months of negotiating with the Saudis. Seems like it's all done, it's signed, and then you come out, throw some new conditions on top of it, the whole thing blows up. So did he get out ahead of you, or what happened there?
No, nobody got out ahead. I mean, I just say that in order to do it, they have to be a member of the Abraham Accords, which have been very successful.
What are the implications of being a member of the Abraham Accords?
Okay, so
I know that it was Trump 1 that they were established. Explain the details for my sake and for the audience's sake.
Okay, first, thank you, Gabe Williams, for the super chat. Great
That might
opening.
be a first one from Gabe Williams. Thank you, Gabe.
He sounds like a great famous baseball player. Great opening monologue, boys. God bless. Hey, that's all Chase, man. He had to get it out of his system. He had to get that EKP out.
Erika Kirk pussy.
Yep. So the Board of Peace is tied into a 10 nation membership on the board. I believe it's 10 kings. This is why I don't think that there's going to be a political solution to this, because this is all biblical. Whether it was true or not, or whether they're adopting the Bible as stepping stones, guidelines to drive the agenda forward, it's still going to be a self-fulfilling prophecy. So the Board of Peace is there to normalize relations with Israel, and that is the Abraham Accords were signed. It's a continuation of that, the Board of Peace is. And Trump wants to tie Saudi Arabia getting nuclear infrastructure development from the United States for the purpose of enriching uranium, obviously way past civilian levels, in my opinion, to their membership into the Abraham Accords and the Board of Peace.
Okay, I want to grok this just so we can get on the same page.
Yeah.
The Abraham Accords are a set of peace and friendship deals from 2020 that got Israel and several Arab/Muslim majority countries to officially recognize each other and start working together. Obviously, that was innovative because typically the Jews and the Muslims don't get along very well. So that was a groundbreaking deal during the end of Trump's first administration. For decades after Israel was created in 1948, most Arab countries refused to recognize it or have normal relations with it. They saw the Israeli-Palestinian conflict as unfinished business and basically said no peace with Israel until the Palestinian issue is solved. Only Egypt in 1979 and Jordan in 1994 had full peace treaties with Israel before this. So what changed? In 2020, under the Trump administration, the U.S. helped broker deals where a few countries decided they didn't want to wait anymore. They agreed to normalize relations with Israel for practical reasons: trade, technology, tourism, security, cooperation, especially against shared concerns like Iran, and economic opportunities. So the main original deals were with the United Arab Emirates, Bahrain, Morocco, Sudan. The name Abraham Accords comes from Ibrahim in Arabic or Islam, the shared ancestor figure in Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. The idea was to highlight common roots and the possibility of better relations. What normalize actually means is opening embassies and exchanging ambassadors, direct flights, business deals, trade and investment, tourism and cultural exchanges, cooperation on things like tech, energy, health, and security. It wasn't a full end to all Middle East conflicts, and it didn't solve the Israeli-Palestinian issue. Critics said it sidestepped the Palestinians. Supporters said it showed Arab countries could pursue their own interests and that better relations with Israel could eventually help the broader region. Why it mattered? It broke a long-standing taboo. Suddenly, countries that used to keep Israel at arm's length were doing business, flying direct routes, and treating each other more like normal neighbors. Trade and people-to-people ties grew. It also shifted some of the old all-Arab states versus Israel dynamic. In short, the Abraham Accords were a big, real-world example of countries choosing practical cooperation over old political standoffs. They didn't fix everything in the Middle East, but they changed the map of who talks to and does business with whom. So now Trump is saying that Saudi Arabia has to join these Abraham Accords in order for this uranium enrichment deal to go through. Is that correct?
Yeah, and he shot himself in the foot because you might as well wipe your ass with the Abraham Accords at this point. Turkey is gearing up for war and to enter as a regional player. Egypt is militarizing its border,
and that's
with
confusing
Israel.
because Israel has been saying that it's about ready to have conflict with Turkey, but Trump has been saying wonderful things about Erdogan and Turkey. So what's going on with Turkey? Gobble, gobble.
Trump is fully vested via Jared Kushner into the Abraham Accords. That's his baby. That was one
Jared
of the,
did that?
Yeah, that was one of the hallmark accomplishments of Trump 45. So he's wedded to it, and he's not going to be able to divorce it. The way the geopolitics is playing out via the Iran war, none of that shit's going to matter. He's going to look like a damn fool because every single strategic partner in the Middle East is getting ready for war in light of the Abraham Accords, in light of the Board of Peace. It's all gobbledygook, gobbledygook. Doesn't fucking matter.
So does Saudi Arabia want to join the Accords?
Saudi Arabia is going to put pen to paper to whatever it needs to get what it wants.
Okay, so this is a temporary halt.
Why does it want uranium enrichment? Because they want fucking nuclear weapons. Oh, why do you want nuclear weapons? Because you want to join the Board of Peace and the Abraham Accords?
Right.
Those are like self-conflicting things. So, Trump's talking out of one side of his mouth. He's married to the Abraham Accords. It's a signature accomplishment of his first administration. And it's none of it's gonna matter. Israel probably will not even exist as a country in 20 years with the events that they're putting into line right now. You know, you don't watch the Abraham Accords and what Trump says. Watch the military arms buildup in the Middle East. Why is Egypt militarizing their border? Why does Turkey want F-35s? Why does Saudi Arabia want uranium enrichment? Iran already fucking has nukes. Saudi Arabia already hosts Pakistani nukes. So, the Board of Peace. Yeah, great. Get your guns. Get your guns here. Get your guns. Get your bullets. Get your beans. And don't listen to any Board of Peace bullshit Abraham Accords talks. Because it's all fucking bullshit.
I'm going to look this up real quick. Is the IMEC corridor planned to involve all the countries associated with the Abraham Accords, including Saudi Arabia? Because I wonder if the Abraham Accords are really just a premise to develop the IMEC corridor. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but then another thing they're not going to get. You're not going to build an IMEC corridor. You're not going to build up all that infrastructure
I think it's gonna happen.
in wartime.
I think it's going to happen.
What, in 40 years?
So the IMEC corridor is not planned to involve all Abraham Accords countries, and Saudi Arabia is a special case. The India, Middle East, Europe economic corridor is planned trade/infrastructure route announced in 2023. The core idea is ships from India to UAE ports, then railroad across Saudi Arabia, Jordan, Israel, then sea from Israeli ports like Haifa to Europe, Greece, Italy, etc. Key countries in the original plan: India, UAE, Saudi Arabia, Jordan, and Israel, plus European partners and the United States. Saudi Arabia is essential to the original IMEC vision. This is why we're doing this uranium shit. Bottom line, IMEC builds on the spirit of the Abraham Accords, but it does not include all Abraham Accords countries. Saudi Arabia is in the IMEC plans, but remains outside the Abraham Accords. I think they're tied together. I think
Fuck
it's the same
the
thing.
Abraham Accords.
I think they're looped. And here's what's going to happen. Trump is going to endeavor to establish the IMEC corridor so that we can become less dependent on manufacturing in China, so that we can become less dependent on Russian energy in Europe, so that we can become less dependent on Ukrainian agriculture in Europe. He's going to allow Russia to take Ukraine. He's going to allow China to take Taiwan. He's going to bring chip development manufacturing domestic with the likes of Elon Musk, and he's going to establish this competitive IMEC corridor in competition with China, and he's going to divide the West and the East. And if he can get everybody on board with that, it could create a perpetual stalemate.
We've already agreed that there's been a secret deal cut in our analysis.
Yeah.
I am now further expanding on that too. Trump is a vehicle for the globalists, whether he knows it or not. And this deal will never actually be seen through.
Which deal?
The deal to split the world in half or into a tripolar world order. We're not going to get there because as soon as Trump's out, they're going to blame him, villainize him for all the faults of this administration, for everything. Epstein this, nepotism that. They're going to throw him over. The pendulum's going to swing violently the other way. Every good thing he's possibly gotten done is going to be undone because we had to hit over 100% of our agenda in case the Dems got back into power. So it couldn't be undone in a 4 or 8 year period. We're not even hitting 30% of the benchmarks. And I just said this in chat. So this is all window dressing now, just like I was saying with the Abraham Accords. Don't pay attention to this. Pay attention what comes 5-10 years after this. When the next Democratic administration comes in, they're going to, I want you to surge the border.
Yeah.
And they're going to double down because we play cuck politics. That's what I fucking hate about the Republicans. We are such limp dick fucking cucks that when we're in, we can never go for the throat. Ever. They just, well, I'm going to go to the country club and be gay faggot. Right? Because most Republicans are closeted homosexuals, apparently.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why we're so limp-wristed. You know? So we can't ram through 200% of our agenda. We can't even get through 30% of our agenda. When the Dems come in, they're leftists. That's the one thing I respect about leftists. It's no holds barred gay fun for them. They come in, they go for your throat. They're fucking vicious.
They overperform. Consensus.
They always act lockstep in uniform.
Yeah. Barack Obama had the House and the Senate and the White House, and he passed the Affordable Care Act, and he passed the massive stimulus package, and he continued on with the FISA courts and the Patriot Act stuff. I mean, he was able to get shit done. I hated everything that he did, but boy, was he ever able to get so much done when he was the president of the United States. And then we get in under the Trump first term or the Trump second term, and we always fuck it up.
It's a controlled dialectic. It's on purpose, man. You couldn't be handed pocket aces and fuck up this bad. You, Kash Patel, Pam Bondi, like, come on, dude.
Yeah.
Why can't we ever
Dan
just
Bongino,
go for the throat?
Kash Patel, Pam Bondi. Multiple assassination attempts, no accountability whatsoever.
There's no Epstein
no accountability
files,
whatsoever.
But my friends will get hurt. Bro, you don't have friends.
Yeah, fuck your friends if they're on the Epstein list,
you
bro.
Think they're your friends?
Yeah.
And if they are your friends, I don't want to have nothing to fucking do with you.
Well, Trump doesn't have a best friend. I mean, his allies would get hurt.
Shout out Honey Badger for the super chat. Sucks that JFK's grandson is nothing like him. Don't forget what happened to RFK Jr., right?
What do you mean? What happened to him?
When he was running for state senator, and then Hillary Clinton allegedly blew his plane up because he was running for the Senate
I thought you were
seat in
talking
New
about
York.
RFK Jr. Yeah.
No, did I? Was that RFK?
That was, I can't even remember.
I can't remember.
They're all
either.
the same to me.
Friday. Shout out Honey Badger once again. Thank you for the $5 super chat. I started uploading shitty clips of me playing COD so people have something to laugh at in these trying times. Hey, bro, I'd watch your stream. We'll play COD together while Rome burns.
Well, speaking of Ukraine, let's get into the fact that Laura Loomer did have an interview with Zelensky. I haven't seen any of the clips of it yet. Obviously, Bak has. He prepares the clips primarily for the show unless I got something I'm particularly excited about. But Laura Loomer is somebody who's been on the scene for quite some time, at least 10 years. She ran for Congress in, gosh, was it 2018?
I forgot when she ran.
She got censored, banned from every platform at one point in time. Alex had her on. She famously had that response on Alex's show after she'd been censored. In fact, you know what? Just to give some context, let's just do a deep dive on Laura Loomer before we get into this clip. Laura Loomer, Alex Jones, deplatformed. Let's see if I can find the clip. Excuse me for coughing. I'm going to make some improvements to Darvis, too. I got some ideas that are going to really pop this. Let's see. Yeah, it's not wanting to pull up Laura Loomer.
Larry Groomer.
Alex Jones. So I am somebody who I liked Laura Loomer during the 2024 election cycle up until a certain couple specific things happened. So Laura Loomer is militant, aggressive. In my opinion, this is just my opinion, there's something clinically wrong with her.
Yeah,
Now,
she's clearly mentally unstable.
my understanding about Laura Loomer, and I could be wrong about this, but this is my understanding, is that she's not lawfully allowed to own a firearm in Florida because she's been committed against her
thank
will
God.
at least once, maybe twice. I've heard twice. I think at least once. I think she had some suicidal ideation after she lost her Congress race. And God knows, that's terrible that she had that experience and went through all that. But she, she's famous for lumering people. If you got lumered, right, she'll catch you. She's an attack dog. She'll find out every bad thing about you, which is why, similar to Scientology, people are reluctant to criticize publicly Laura Loomer because nobody wants to get lumered. Nobody wants to get their past text messages found, the receipts found, their exchanges found, whatever. She will do everything she can to ruin you. I think, what was the recent one where she went after somebody's husband who was a gym teacher? You know what I'm talking about, Bak?
No, I stopped paying attention to Larry.
Can you look this up? There was somebody who was antagonistic toward Laura Loomer, and then the chat will know. And she tried to get their husband fired as a gym teacher, saying like, "Hey, look what this gym teacher's wife is doing," or whatever. I'm pretty sure this is the case, but correct me if I'm wrong on this. So I came out with a book in 2024, I believe. Maybe it was 2023, and as part of my contract with my publisher, I had to try to get on as many podcasts as possible in the 2 weeks surrounding the launch of the book. So I did Timcast. I did a number of other appearances, just whenever I could. I was on Adam Krigler's show. I love Adam Krigler. He's a former host of Timcast. He's just so talented, so much fun to watch. And one of the podcasts I did was Loomer's podcast. And I'd asked her to write a blurb of the book. She never did. And, I did the interview with her, and she was like, "Look, did you know that Tony Lyons with Skyhorse Publishing is a massive funder of RFK Jr.'s super PAC?" This is before RFK Jr. had endorsed Trump. So she was giving me shit about my book the entire time that I was on the interview with her, which is her prerogative and her right to do. I'm trying to launch a book. She's knocking it the whole time, basically telling people not to buy it because it's going to fund RFK Jr. and undermine the Trump campaign. And then like 3 weeks later, RFK Jr. comes out and endorses Trump and saves the campaign, right? He basically saves the whole day for the campaign. And so it was like, well, fuck. Thanks, Laura. Anyway, Milo did a podcast circuit. He appeared famously on Alex Stein's show when Alex Stein was with The Blaze, Glenn Beck's network, formerly Glenn Beck's network. And I actually didn't watch the episode that Milo was on with Alex, but apparently he said a whole bunch of stuff that was inflammatory about Laura Loomer. I'm not sure exactly what he said, but it was hyper-inflammatory, very funny because Milo is incredibly talented, witty, and articulated. And, Alex Stein was, the crew there seemed to have been deleting segments of that stream after it had streamed to remove anything that was, just antagonistic toward Laura. It could have been.
That's gay.
Right. And Laura Loomer threatened to sue Milo for, I think, defamation. Right. Milo made an announcement that he was going to be on InfoWars. And this came to the surprise of everyone at InfoWars, right? And I'm friends with Milo. I've never met him personally, but we exchange messages occasionally.
3 a.m. texts.
Yeah. And I was, I was like, fine, if he shows up at the studio, I'll host him. Yeah, great, whatever. But he wasn't actually booked. And Laura Loomer sent me a text that was like a TLDR text, like, "Hey, I just want you to know I will be taking legal action against InfoWars if Milo says anything defamatory about me on your network." Like, just threatening to sue InfoWars if we have Milo on, basically, was the text. I could dig it up and read the exact wording. And, obviously working at InfoWars, I'm an InfoWars soldier. InfoWars has been sued for $1.4 billion. They shut it down. Alex has lost his life's work. He's fine. He's still alive. Everything's good that he's able to network and broadcast. They can't take his audience or his identity away from him. But, I've been working for InfoWars for 2 years, constantly fighting these leftist fucks that have been trying to silence and eradicate and erode freedom of speech. And they've been using federal dollars to do it, by the way. If you see the grants that some of those Sandy Hook nonprofits got from the federal government during COVID. So My tax dollars are being used to fund organizations and lawyers that are trying to sue my employer and silence my freedom of speech. It's that circular logic. It's like when you pay taxes and the CIA gets funded, then the CIA puts you on Ukraine enemies of the state list, and then you get swatted. So my taxes go to our intelligence company, which puts me on enemies of the state lists in other nations, and then I get swatted and my family gets guns pointed at them. So that's circular shit. So when she texted me that she would, legal action will be taken if Milo, comes on and just continues to defame me, my initial response is like, get the fuck out of here. Fuck you. First you have me on your show. I'm thinking I'm going to have an opportunity to promote my book. The whole time you bash it. Whatever, benefit of the doubt. It's your show. You were polite about it. Maybe I wouldn't have done it if I knew it was going to go that way. And then it turns out you were wrong because RFK ended up saving the Trump election. Didn't even, say sorry to me or anything about it later after the fact. It would have been fine. Now you're threatening to sue InfoWars because Milo may or may not come in. So that's like, I'm like, fuck you, right? Now we've got this October 7th stuff that's happened. We've got these feuds that are going on between Candace and Laura, and you see that she's a Zionist shill. She's likely very much exaggerating the extent to which she is genuinely close to the President of the United States. He said nice things about her. He obviously knows who she is. I'm sure that she speaks to him from time to time. She's got that level of influence, and I'm sure she's very close with many of his staffers. But Laura Loomer is somebody who I consider to be a major detriment to the right. She's part of the neoconservative movement that I was talking about in the beginning of this broadcast that needs to be eradicated if we hope to save this country in 2032. No hope for 2028. And now she's met with Zelensky, Voldemort Zelensky, of whom we funded, I think, either $63 or $83 billion on Hitler's birthday in 2023 or 2024. I can't remember which year it was, when Congress was waving the Ukrainian flags instead of the American flags. It's Hitler's birthday. They passed the massive tens of billions of dollars of funding. Americans are bent over with fentanyl addiction and overdoses here in the United States of America, and we're allocating just endless dollars to Ukraine. Nazis. 250,000 Ukrainians volunteered to join the Nazis during World War II, and I don't blame them because communism was terrible to those people. There's a cemetery in Elkins Park, Pennsylvania right now, just 45 minutes north of Philadelphia, that has a giant statue of an iron cross with the Ukrainian trident in it, and the cemetery is dedicated to Ukrainian SS officers. My grandfather fought in a war, was enlisted in a war against the Nazis, and now we're funding the fuck out of them. While we're funding the hell out of Israel, while we're propping up the Taiwans, while we're totally neglecting the fact that increasing gas prices disproportionately harm working class people, the middle class is being evaporated, and not because of the fallacy of trickle-down economics like the left would say, not because of the failures of capitalism, for we don't live in a capitalist society, but the middle class is being evaporated because we have allowed our country to endure a form of neo-fascism called globalism for the last 70 years. Where the government gets so in bed with publicly traded companies because our politicians and our leaders are allowed to engage in insider trading that they control free speech. They censored through Twitter. They censored through Facebook. They censored through YouTube. Publicly traded companies influenced by the government. So the government wasn't doing it directly. It was using these cutouts and these proxies to do it. They fund the Anthropics and the ChatGPTs in the massive military industrial complex and big tech companies with their Department of Defense contracts for billions upon billions of dollars. And then once they fund them, they control them. And so they weaponize big tech and the military industrial complex and massive surveillance against the people. They conglomerate all of the economy into this pool, because keep in mind, 40% of all dollars ever printed were printed during the last year of the Trump administration, and the banks had nowhere to invest that money because the entire economy was shut down during COVID. So what did? They pump it into the S&P 500, and the rich got richer while the poor got poorer. The poor lost all their buying power. The middle class lost all of its buying power. They had to shut down their mom and pop businesses while these massive chains and conglomerations came in and bought up everything, and BlackRock bought everything. And then anybody who had enough money to invest in the market saw the market explode. This is why we had an economy that was totally shut down and simultaneously had record highs in the Dow Jones Industrial Average. So it's not capitalism that has caused the eradication of the middle class in the United States. It is globalism. It is this neo-fascism where the government leverages through its corrupt leadership the massive resources of the tax base of the United States of America to fund entities, organizations, and institutions that have massive amounts of power and influence over our lives. They funded information that way. They fund the military that way. They fund surveillance that way. They fund the schools that way. And now because inflation is so bad, basically everybody has to outsource the raising of their children to the state via public school because both parents have to work in order to make ends meet. I mean, there was a time in the United States of America where you could graduate from high school within 24 months, be an electrician, buy a home, have a wife and 2 children, and she can stay home all day and you'll make ends meet. And if you put a little away for 50 years, you'll be a millionaire by the time you retire, even though you were a simple electrician your whole life. There was a time. That time is no longer with us, folks. And they're going to blame capitalism. That's why there's this massive communist push and the Mamdani bullshit. The leftists are all going to say, eat the rich like the AOCs. All this stuff is this massive lie. And frankly, Laura Loomer is, at least inadvertently, a part of it. She's on the same page as Erika Kirk. Massive enemy to be defeated if we hope to eat the evil twin within our side of the spectrum of politics. So let's watch this clip about Laura Loomer visiting, interviewing Zelensky.
And now it's clearly a country led by a jihadi apologist. And she's also, well, said a variety of things about the leader she just interviewed, like this.
Zelensky has morphed into more of a dictator than an elected leader at this point. He regularly likes to call Putin an authoritarian, when he himself is no better and is in fact in many ways even worse.
I'm waiting for the...
this is right after she got banned everywhere.
With a t-shirt of Free Laura Loomer or freeloomer.com. Why do you think they've done this? I guess because they see Trump green lighting it. Not doing anything so far, or where is? Because I mean, I get you're pissed off. You're fighting hard. Every time I'm in the trenches, I see you there. Yeah. Well, I mean, what do you think Trump should do? What should we do? Where do you see this going? Because Trump doesn't get his own videos get banned and shadow banned and blocked.
She does
we
look
promote
like
them.
Jigsaw.
I mean, Trump just thinks, well, I can overpower this myself. No, you can't. Plus, if he doesn't do something, he's aiding and abetting this. What do you think, Laura?
Yeah. Well, I wish that he would do something. Like I said, I confronted Congress, and when Jack Dorsey was testifying in September, and I begged President Trump, I begged him to do something before it was too late. And that was when I still had access to my my Twitter account, right? But I was mocked, right? Look at that asshole, Bill. Mocked me, called me crazy. But what are they doing? I want to know what people are actually going to do. My life is ruined. Does anybody understand how ruined my life is? I'm sick of it. I don't want to listen to people tell me that I'm a conspiracy theorist. They don't know what it's like.
Oh, boo-hoo.
No, I understand. I just think you need to go with it.
They muted her.
And,
with your millions of dollars, you're living such a bad life. It's all.
Well, that was
these
back
are
then.
wars,
This was almost 8 years ago.
Yeah, I know
And
your
she did
frustration, Laura.
fine.
You wouldn't feel bad if more men were standing up. You know, Drudge Report promotes what you're doing. Others do. The president actually did tweet about you, and I don't know if you knew this, about you and Watson being banned. But I mean, I agree. Tweeting isn't enough, but at least the president is concerned about it.
Okay, he's concerned about it, but that's not going to stop the fact that I've lost 90% of my income. That's not going to stop the fact that I literally can't make a living anymore, even though I have a degree. I was valedictorian in college. I graduated top of my class in my journalism program, and I can't have.
No, I get it. You've been in the trenches 6 years and delivered nothing but the goods.
And so now she's,
now you're
interviewing
Yeah,
Zelensky.
man.
That's enough of that. But I just wanted to give everybody a taste of, the beast
That
under
was
the
hard
sheet.
to watch, dude.
Yeah.
Ever since that Coke Rock fell out of Robbie
And
Williams.
Look, I know Loomer Fan Club is in the spaces sometimes. I'm not sure if he's in this one.
No, he was earlier.
Love Loomer Fan Club. He's a good dude. There's a lot of people that love Laura Loomer that are good people. I'm just saying this is not somebody who is...
yeah, mentally stable. Clearly, dude.
Yeah.
She's like shrieking, dude.
Yeah.
But I was saying to you, Chase, ever since that Coke Rock fell out of Robbie Williams' nose, I've been on Coke Rock alert. So I was watching that Zelensky interview, just waiting.
Yeah.
Waiting for an 8-ball to fall out. Thank you, Honey Badger, for the $5 super chat. A UPS driver can have a wife that doesn't work and raise a kid. My old lady chooses to work, so I can send y'all money. Yeah, we really appreciate your patronage. Thank you so much.
Appreciate you.
Z Arrow Effect, thank you for the $10 super chat. Bak, the information war. And thank you, Kryptonite Rick, with the Pickle Rick logo. for the $5 super chat. I'm late. Let's fucking go, boys. Man, chat's roasting me. They're like, Chase is on one, Bak. You got to keep up. Guys,
no, we're having a great show.
Chase is an asset. If he's cooking, I'm not going to interrupt the recipe. I don't
one
go
time,
into the kitchen.
Yeah, one time I was in the studio with Alex. He wanted me to come on the show for the first 30 minutes of an hour. I can't remember. And whenever Alex has you on for the first 30 minutes of an hour, like he's going to keep you for maybe even the rest of the show. And an hour went by, and I don't think I said anything. I'm just sitting next to him live in studio, and he's like, "You all right, Chase?" Like during the break, he's like, "You haven't said much."
Like you're on fire.
And I'm like, "Dude, I'm not going to interrupt you unless I have something better to say."
Yeah.
And you've been cooking, dude.
Let the boy cook.
Let the boy cook.
Exactly.
Let the boy watch.
Wow, Mr. C, USA Patriot in the super chats. Thank you for the $20 super chat, sir.
Hell yeah.
Late to the party. Who we pissing off tonight? Everybody, especially Larry Groomer.
Yeah.
The globalists started their foothold in the early 70s with the Trilateral Commission, Club of Rome, and Columbia University. Jigsaw is another piece of the proverbial puzzle.
What people don't realize is globalism is the hybrid chimera of communism, Marxism, and fascism. So what the political class learned from the 20th century is that communism is an incredibly powerful way to control the behavior of a domestic people, but it's an incredibly inefficient way to manage an economy. What they learned from fascism is that fascism is an incredibly efficient way to just like rapidly allocate resources, get shit done. It's similar to communism in that there's not really private property rights, but there still is. There's enough capitalism in fascism that it can work, and if there's enough cultural consensus, I mean, the Nazis were able to go from Germany was able to go from one of the most vulnerable countries in the world to the greatest threat in the world within like a 6-year period of time because of the efficiency of fascism. It was unjust, it was brutal, it was cruel, whatever, but it was highly efficient. Communism isn't efficient. Fascism is efficient. Fascism, you're vulnerable to whoever the leader is of a nationalist situation. Communism, you're vulnerable to the fact that your economy is eventually going to collapse. You have to expand consistently at a higher rate of your own entropy, right? And so what they did was they merged communism, Marxism namely, and fascism to form globalism, where they understood that it was better for the political class to collaborate and conspire among one another against their various constituents and working class peoples in order to maintain and conglomerate power and expand power. That's what globalism is. So rather than this fascist versus that fascist versus this Marxist versus that Marxist, they combine it all together. They have the cultural revolution aspects of communism that they weaponize through globalism, through the big tech, but they really control the big tech through fascist mechanisms. So the globalists don't own the big tech; they just control it because of the regulation to outregulate the competitors. You've seen, for example, the leader of the CEO of Anthropic has said, we need more regulation with artificial intelligence. Or Sam Altman said the same thing. It's like, why would these companies advocate for more regulation in the industry that they're in? Well, the reason they do that is because they can bear the costs of said regulation, and they know that startups and competitors and small businesses can't bear those costs, obstacles, or inconveniences of this regulation. So they're doing it in order to conglomerate or corner the market, basically.
Oh, the breakdown for
Right.
Globalism for dummies is this. Communism is the wealth extraction model. So communism is for the masses. Fascism is for the NGOs, the governments, and the corporations.
And communism shuts down revolutions like nobody's ever heard of.
Exactly. So, and you merge the two in a hybrid system and you get globalism. And that's globalism for dummies. Thank you, Mr. C, USA Patriot. He says, for the $5 super chat, the globalist hierarchy is cherry picking from all the diverse factions who hold control over the people. Absolutely, brother.
Yeah, just like Klaus Schwab when he said we penetrated the cabinets.
Yeah, we're on this. I'm going to penetrate your butthole.
Yeah, and we've got governors in the United States of America that are trying to negotiate with Iran or going to South or Central America or entertaining President Xi. Like, why is Gavin Newsom an international player? Why is Mamdani an international player in the United States of America? He's just supposed to be the governor of his own state. Right?
Or the mayor of New York.
But these globalists, they just get involved, and Trudeau has all these opinions about policy in the United States of America. It's like, you're the Prime Minister of Canada, or was the Prime Minister of Canada. Mark Carney comes from the International Bank of Settlements, I believe.
Yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. International Bank of Settlements. Suddenly he's the Prime Minister of Canada, and he's got all these opinions on central bank digital currencies and global currencies.
And they all have trans
right?
kids.
It's like, what the hell do you care if you're just supposed to be responsible for Canada about whether or not there's a central bank digital currency internationally? Very bizarre. Globalist head of that, Keir Starmer, former head of the United Kingdom. Very globalist tendencies. Obviously, Zelensky, total globalist because he requires resources internationally. I mean, really, the only leaders in the world that aren't globalists are like, I don't know, Gaddafi was one, Saddam Hussein was one, Vladimir Putin's one.
Kim Jong-un.
Yep, Kim Jong-un. Xi is one. I mean, the reason that we're in constant conflict with Iran and Russia and China, one of the reasons, obviously it's more complicated than just any singular reason, is because these are leaders of massive superpowers that advocate for national sovereignty. Not just their own national sovereignty, but they believe in the principle of national sovereignty itself. And that is the greatest threat to globalism. You have to keep in mind that there's nothing more antithetical to globalism than individualism. And globalists cannot succeed if there is such a thing as individual sovereignty, and national sovereignty cannot succeed if there is such a thing as individual sovereignty. So it goes from the individual all the way up. And the reason they hate national sovereignty is because it catalyzes individual sovereignty. Or the reason they hate individual sovereignty is because it catalyzes national sovereignty. There is no sovereignty in the mind of the globalists. They don't believe in private property rights. They believe in classism and elite political control. And they use things like safety as an excuse to do it. They say they believe in things like order, but they really don't. They just want to control labor without any accountability for their corruption or depravity whatsoever. And as soon as they figure out through this technology how to eradicate the demand for human labor, if it's possible through robotics and artificial intelligence, then they'll have no need for working class people anymore. And if they've got no need for working class people anymore in order to fund their political cabal, then we become nothing but a liability. And what do politicians do with massive swaths of people that they perceive to be a threat?
They build camps.
They kill them, they eradicate them.
Well, AI is not actually going to eradicate the need for labor because they're going to want you weighed down with a 50, 60-hour work week so you don't rebel. So I've changed my thesis a little bit. Yeah, they're going to work you to death.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens. I mean, I don't believe that artificial intelligence is going to create the demand for human labor or eradicate the demand for human labor because I have a theological perspective on that. God said that you'll have to work by the sweat of your brow. So because of my faith, I believe that somehow artificial intelligence won't replace human labor. I don't know about the political incentive.
Yeah, well, they're going to work you to death via devaluing the currency. You're never going to get ahead.
See, the problem is the fewer resources you have as a working class person, the fewer resources the political class can extract from you. That's been the traditional problem. That's why the Soviet Union collapsed. It's like, wow, they controlled everything, but since they just created such poverty, there was nothing left to mine from the people, right? We've seen it happen time and time again in different forms of government in different ages and times. But once they no longer need a prosperous people to fund their class, their political class, it's over for regular humanity.
I'm starting to think the robotic revolution is going to be two-tiered. It's just for them.
It's just 100% just for them.
It's just for them.
100%.
They don't need your labor, but they are going to extract your labor to keep you down. They're going to introduce more bread and circus. You're going to get the Gluck Gluck 5000 sex robot. You're going to get your Soma. You're going to get your just-in-time delivery with the drones delivering, valued prime citizen. Here's your prime meal. Stay in your prime dwelling. I'll wait to receive your prime instructions. And when they finally hit the tipping point with the robotic revolution just being ubiquitous everywhere, they're going to price you out of your homes with massive inflation, then massive deflation.
There'll be massive deflation, and then they'll buy up all the homes.
And then they'll buy up everything on the way up and everything on the way down.
And allegedly be happy, but you won't be happy.
I already own nothing. What the fuck are you going to do to me, bro? I am kind of happy still, though. I feel so free. Thank you, Mr. CUSA Patriot, for the $5 super chat. He says, yes, they only believe in stakeholder sovereignty. 100%.
Yes.
This is for the stakeholders. It's the antithesis of freedom and personal sovereignty.
Well, and they use that stakeholder language as an excuse to just impose ESG scores, DEI, things like that, so as a further mechanism of financial control. If they can
100%.
financially control these massive corporations, then they can control everything that these massive corporations do. And these corporations have unprecedented power with surveillance, with data, with artificial intelligence, with algorithms that inform and manipulate and mold the psychology of people. I mean, keep in mind, dude, that one of the main reasons, either intentional or unintentional, probably intentional, but one of the main reasons that we had this massive transgender pandemic in the United States of America is because of the algorithms on platforms like Instagram and TikTok. And we can argue whether they did it on purpose, but the way the algorithms work on those platforms is the groundbreaking thing that TikTok did was it realized that in order to get people to come back to your platform, you have to give them the endorphin rush of engagement with their content, regardless of whether or not they have followers. Traditionally speaking, you build a MySpace page, you try to build a following. You build a Facebook page, you try to build a following, and then your followers see your content. But that's something that's just exhausting for normal people, right, who want to have that endorphin rush. And so what TikTok brilliantly did was it said, all right, let's prioritize exposing videos and content created by new accounts so that as soon as you create a TikTok account, even if you only have 7 followers, like your sister, your best friend, or whatever, we'll give them tens of thousands of views so they keep coming back and making content, right? Mm-hmm. And the way they determine which content is actually engaging, regardless of whether or not creators have a following, is by factors like, all right, what percentage of the video on average is watched? Is it 125%? Do people watch it one time and then a quarter of another time? Is it 30%, right? Do they stick? Does it bounce? They use these algorithms to determine early which content would go viral without any knowledge of who the creator was, right? And because of that, you got a 14-year-old kid scrolling through TikTok, singer-songwriter, baseball player, transgender person. And a 14-year-old kid is going to do a double take on a transgender person. And at first it's weird and they're disturbed. And so it's got the high watch through. So the algorithm thinks, oh, this piece of content is more engaging than most content. I'm going to push this piece of content to 10,000 more people. And it looks like it's really sticking with 14-year-olds, 15-year-olds, 16-year-olds, questioning their sexuality, going through puberty, having these hormonal experiences for the first time. And so I think either intentionally or inadvertently, the algorithms pushed this transgender content disproportionately on a generation of coming of age children in the United States of America, and that's what influenced them to adopt a lot of these Marxist leftist policies. That coupled with DEI and policies around no hate speech, policies on terms of service on these platforms about not saying anything negative or disparaging or bigoted about protected categories like the transgender community. So they protect them from criticism. They push them to kids in a disproportionate way, and then they see the comments and they're only praise and everything because all the antagonistic comments are censored, right? And so that's my point is these massive big tech companies with these algorithms, that's just one small example, are controlled by a globalist political Epstein class cabal. And we have to figure out a way to do something about it. And I think the first way we do it is we just eradicate the neoconservative movement within the right in the United States of America.
You're getting lost in the weeds with the politics, okay? I'm not saying don't pay attention. We need informational awareness. But they're poisoning the air via chemtrails. They're poisoning the water via data centers. They're literally cutting your dick and your balls off, bro.
Yeah.
So let's look at the environment around us to see where it's really headed. And I'm not saying don't pay attention to the politics. Don't engage in politics then, but engage in a decentralized manner. Engage in your own local communities with your own neighbors, something that's under our sphere of influence. Because the grand game...
Sign up as a member on ChaseGeiser.com.
100%. And on that note, thank you, Anastasia Beaverhausen. God is good and we humans adapt. Thank you for the super chat. We are smart and resilient. We can work back together as small communities. Exactly what the fuck I'm saying. Back to the land we go. Plant your victory gardens. We'll be free. Honey Badger, thank you for the $10 super chat. Make friends with your UPS drivers and postal workers. Most have keys and passwords to buildings that would matter in a collapse situation.
Wow, that's a good point.
I have 15 subs on here from my shit clips, I think. Hell yeah, guys. Go and follow Honey Badger. He's
the man.
UPS driver. That's very good, tactical, sound, smart strategy. We need to worry about what we can control, what's in our sphere of influence. They have us focused on the grand game where we have no control. We don't have the funding. We don't have the leverage. We don't have the influence. But you know what you do have leverage over? Your local post office, your local baker, your local person at the deli counter, your local army vet friend who's shit down on his luck because this country does not give a fuck about him and he's almost out on the streets and he can't even get the VA to cover his health treatment. You go and talk to him because he has combat arms training. You go talk to your local farmer, Go support your local farmer. They can't contain us if we become rugged individuals again, instead of just sitting here whacking our bags to TikTok all day, like you were just saying.
Yeah.
That is the way we move forward. Be situationally aware with your environment. Don't worry so much about the grand design. We can't control the grand design. Only lobbies like Israel can control the grand design. I don't have hundreds of billions of dollars to throw at primaries.
I don't think that you have to choose. I think we can do everything that you're saying and still be politically aware and active. And look, I have as little faith in the integrity of our elections as the next guy. I understand that it's corrupt and screwed up and it's funded by AIPAC. There's obviously some integrity in some of the elections, because why would AIPAC have to fund, $40 million to beat Thomas Massey if they could just, turn the machine? Like,
Chase, they have control. They're trying to maintain control. That's the problem.
I understand, but if they could just flip the election, they don't have to drop $40 million in campaigning. You know what I mean? It's more complicated. I think that there is election fraud. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying that there's enough integrity left in the election system that if we reach critical mass and have enough cultural consensus, it could be a positive element of solving this problem for people to actually
National
vote.
Elections are fucked. Wow. Thank you, Gabe Williams, 8952 for the $50 super chat. Apologies for the bullshit $2 super chat. Hey, never apologize,
Apology
bro.
accepted.
We love you.
Apology accepted.
We love your support.
Don't let it happen again. Do 50 every time.
Chase, you are one of the greats, and Bak, you are starting to follow suit. God bless. I'm learning a lot from Chase. We differ on our
Bak's a genius.
Local politics and
I do the show with
politics.
Bak because I know if I could make anybody famous, it would be Steven Bak. And Bak is he's my friend. He's my partner in this network, on this show. But I mean, he's like, I'm trying to do everything I can to make him Anakin Skywalker.
That's all right. If this shit doesn't go well, you guys can catch me on CNN. I'll be doing a live segment on a rooftop surrounded by bags of rice. And yeah, it is what it is.
Hell yeah.
Thank you, Honey Badger, for the $5 super chat. USMC vet. My mayor lives a couple houses up, and I'm cool with most farmers and police. I also have like 6 months of MREs
I like how
in
he
the
said
basement.
most farmers, because there's a couple farmers that he could fucking hate. He doesn't care what happens. I'm cool with most farmers. There's a couple farmers out there, I don't care if they fall off their fucking tractor and get run over.
Yeah, I mean, support your local farmers, guys. That's such an easy win.
Yeah, there's only like 2 of them left anyway.
Should we play clip 103? Because this kind of
let's move
slid
through
under
them.
the radar. It's on the Friday news cycle.
Let's do it.
International Criminal Court member states voted Friday to dismiss prosecutor Karim Khan, diplomatic sources said, following disputed allegations that he sexually assaulted a female member of his staff. Khan,
it's a sexual
56,
assault
was
allegation.
suspended last month by a key governing body of the ICC before the secret ballot.
Okay, that's enough of the clip. Explain to everybody just like you did before the show to me.
Okay, so this is, I don't know if they call them prosecutors in the ICC, but this fellow Khan was the guy who was spearheading the charge for the ICC arrest warrant on Netanyahu for crimes against humanity, essentially the Gaza genocide. So conveniently, after Mamdani pushed to have him arrested.
I tell you what, if I was just about to bring down one of the world's supervillains, the first thing I would do is commit sexual assault.
Oh, 100%. That'd be so high on my list. Let's get super rapey because we're about to take down a genocidal
I'm about to save the
maniac.
world. Let's just wear the ring one more time.
He is the guy that's been pushing the hardest. He's been spearheading the effort in the ICC, which I don't put a lot of stock in, but it just shows you how the game's played. And all of a sudden, conveniently, there's a sex scandal allegation against him, and he's been dropped. So I don't know if that whole arrest Netanyahu with the ICC thing's going through now, because this was guy spearheading the whole effort.
Remember, and don't forget what they did with the prosecutor that was investigating Burisma.
Oh, you're not getting the $1 billion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they've got a history. This political class has a history of targeting prosecutors corruptly, erroneously, when it's conducive to their political agenda. It's not the first time that a major prosecutor has been totally thrown under the bus when there were, international, national security implications of the outcome of a case.
Ain't no assault like a sexual assault, apparently, right? Just when you're about to get a breakthrough politically.
All right, let's keep powering through these clips.
Yep.
You want at the Ukraine expo?
Yeah, we don't have to play the whole clip, but we should play it because
right.
I was in Poltava in the center of the country. The alert went off there, and soon on the radio we heard that it was because there were 10 ballistic missiles heading towards Kyiv region. I don't know how many actually hit this particular site and whether other sites were also hit. Perhaps
Look, they got an iron cross in the upper left. See
military
that?
sites.
Yeah, they're
But anyway,
everywhere.
this is a bit of a scandal in Ukraine, and the General Prosecutor's Office has already said that they are opening criminal proceedings against the organizers
Right
of
here in the
this
top left
event,
of this embedded
because
video.
it has been said
Iron cross.
time and again in Ukraine that events with large numbers of people should not be held on military training grounds that the Russians may well know the location of, and also the people there may well
Yeah,
betray
we all saw what happened to Lindsey
the
Graham.
location
Yep.
of
And the
this,
subtitles are
demonstration
Moscow
of
hits
weapons.
arm
It was. I was
expo
actually at
in
the
Ukrainian capital. Russian strikes killed 10 in Kyiv region. So there were 10 ballistic missiles that were fired. Like Las Vegas is the convention center of the United States. They hold a shit ton of conventions.
Yes.
all throughout
Everybody
the year.
wants to go to Vegas. It's in a good central
So imagine
location.
if Anduril and what was that other?
Isn't that where Cash Patel's from too?
Las Vegas? Yeah, he lives with that rich billionaire guy, and they think he's super gay. They're super gay together. But imagine if there was an arms expo with Palmer Luckey in Las Vegas, and he was showing off his new missiles and his new drones, and then bang, 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 that shit just got bombed to shit with 10 ballistic missiles. Russia does not give a fuck anymore. The gloves are...
Imagine if there was a massive country music concert occurring in Las Vegas, and there was a Saudi Arabian arms deal being conducted on Mandalay Bay, but it went south.
And then James Paddock. Remember that, dude?
Steve
That's what
Paddock.
you told. Was it? What was his name? Steve Paddock?
I think so.
All right. That was,
And they busted his brother for child porn too.
Nah, really?
Yeah, but I think they planted it.
Yeah, obviously. He was a CIA freaking... I
Yeah.
don't even know how you would even describe that.
Listen, man. Listen.
Handler,
if my
informant?
brother, let's just say hypothetically, I've got child pornography. God, this is gonna get clipped. Imagine I've got CP on my computer, and my brother has just committed a mass shooting. Don't you think the first thing I'm gonna do is delete all that shit?
Yeah, obviously it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, they obviously planted it.
Yeah, if you're going to invent an engine that runs on water, next day you're going to have CP on your laptop.
Don't even get me
If you're
started
going to
on
cure
that.
cancer, hey, I have a new, cheap, innovative way to break... Hey, you got CP on that laptop, bro.
Wild. All right, let's keep plowing through these clips.
Let's skip 105.
Okay.
Rubio met Lavrov at the Manila Peace Conference in the Philippines. Nothing's going to come of it. Someone made fun of Lavrov's hair.
Okay.
But this is tied in. Clip 106. This is important on the geopolitical war front.
A Romanian F-16 fighter jet shot down an unidentified drone over an unpopulated area near Padina on Friday morning.
Padina.
Romanian President Nicu Șordan confirmed that engagement occurred around 11 a.m., noting the pilot fired safely without risk to populated areas.
Am avut o dronă în spațiu aerian.
Okay, it was shot down a few minutes ago at around 11 o'clock. This is Nicu Șordan, Romanian president, by a Romanian pilot flying an F-16. It is important to note that the area was uninhabited, so they're implying that nobody was harmed or that it wasn't dangerous what they were doing. That was also the reason why he was able to fire from above, and teams from the relevant authorities are now investigating all the details surrounding the incident. Okay, tell me about this, Bak.
Well, this is important because we know
An F-16 is like not shit anymore, right?
No, they have upgrade packages. You know what I mean? Just like the F-22 was the F-22 Raptor. It's not outdated tech.
I thought the F-16 was like what Tom Cruise flew in Top Gun Maverick as the disadvantaged plane at the end. Was it an F-16?
It's
Or an
it's the
F-15?
nerfed down former tech, but they constantly upgrade these. It's still a generational system. It's still in deployment. Like there's F-16 squadrons with the National Guard for NORAD. Air
But
defense.
it's crazy that they have to use a manned mechanism or vehicle in order to bring down unmanned drone threats. That's not sustainable.
No, of course it's not sustainable. The cost to hit ratio is
Yeah.
way too expensive. But the important thing to elaborate on here is the war is widening. They've wanted to use Romania as a trigger to enter into a new front with Russia and have more direct control over the Black Sea. So these two Romanian fighters that they used to intercept were also escorted by Italian fighters. These are all NATO countries. If anything happened to them, Article 5 could potentially be triggered. And on top of that, we don't even know where these foreign drone excursions are coming from. They most likely are Russian at this point of the game because the war is widening, but they could be Ukrainian too.
My geography is just terrible, so I have to look at the map. So Romania is directly south of Ukraine.
Yep.
Okay. And is it part of, I imagine it's part of NATO?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. It's next to Hungary. It's close to Poland, but they're not adjacent. I see. So there were drones flying over Romania?
Yeah, but there's been drones.
What drone were they? Russian?
They won't say.
I bet they were Ukrainian.
Well, I'd say 60-40. It's Russia, possibly Ukrainian.
But how is Russia deploying? Oh, are they doing it from the Black Sea?
Yeah, they've been probing all the Baltic states too.
Okay.
Like Contact was telling me there's drones in Estonia, Latvia.
So what
Finland.
Russia's doing is they're flying drones from the Black Sea
Probing
over,
air defense.
over Romania. They're probably probing, but it's also probably a NATO intimidation tactic.
Oh, they're probing, Daddy. They're probing.
Wow.
Yep.
Okay. Cool. What's next?
So that wraps up the geopolitical war front. Never a slow news day. You make the news. The news doesn't make you. Clip 107. Trump is redoing the correspondent dinner because it went so well last time.
The annual White House Correspondents Dinner. The event rescheduled following an assassination attempt against President Trump 3 months ago at the original dinner held at the Washington Hilton.
The president looks forward to finishing what he started.
31-year-old Cole Allen accused of attempting to assassinate the president after authorities say he stormed through a security checkpoint armed with a shotgun, pistol, and multiple knives before being tackled. One
He wasn't
Secret
killed,
Service
was he?
agent was shot,
No,
but
he's
survived
taken into
thanks to
custody.
his bulletproof vest.
Haven't heard a damn word about
Allen
him.
has pleaded not guilty and is awaiting trial. Tonight's dinner will be held just blocks from the White House
tonight?
at the Waldorf Astoria.
Wild.
Secret Service
It's probably
Director
happening right now.
Sean Curran asked how tonight's event will be different.
We will always evaluate every site, and right now we have an advance team there, and they will set up a plan to set that site up for success.
The Secret Service says it has conducted more than 10,000 threat investigations since January, up 40% over this time last year.
So the strange thing about this was there's so many anomalies with the Cole Thomas Allen shooting. He checked in the day before the last correspondent dinner, set up. He was seen pacing around. He was seen, like, I don't know if he was joking, but he was seen talking with the Secret Service agent within eyeshot when he was setting up his weapons. And then I believe he was allowed to storm in and that this was possibly a staged shooting. The Secret Service begged Trump not to host this event at a hotel because of the security risks. Yet again, when there was an alleged attempt last time, they're doing it again at another hotel. How does any of this shit make sense, dude? And then we know that he was linked to NASA research facilities. That whole thing with Henry Martinez with the X account with Trump. You know, the picture of Trump holding up his hand in defiance after the Butler shooting. But he had posted that in 21 or 22. And then they were all linked to like time travel, looking glass like projects, dude.
Let's play a little bit of this. Trump's speaking right now.
Out and said he will not be running for president because nobody can say what he said about himself and survive. Newsom was in big trouble when he openly admitted that Kamala was smarter than him. She said, Kamala, policies of enabling wildfires, paying drug addicts to be homeless, giving free sex changes to illegals, and telling rich people they're going to take away, all of your money is going to be taken away. People are fleeing, and they're fleeing in droves. We can't have that in this country. It's becoming such a horrible and dangerous location that Ilhan Omar, one of my favorites, and her brother are thinking about moving together, very much in love. A video has surfaced recently of Ilhan giving a speech referring to World War II as World War XI. And they asked her about that. She thought she got it right. But I'm not surprised because she's a low IQ person. And she's also a very dishonest person. And she ought to get the hell out of our country. She shouldn't be here. She shouldn't be in our country. She also calls her brother husband number one. Omar is
husband number one. He calls her brother husband number one.
She revised her net worth. I was shocked to see that she was worth much more than $30 million. And then when the press got on her, she revised it slightly downward to less than 18,000. So she went from much more than 30 million.
Fucking deport her.
18,000.
What are we talking about here? You have all the evidence you need. She's a brother lover. She's lying on all her tax forms.
You can't deport somebody for that.
For loving your brother?
That dumb as a bee, so we don't have to worry
you'd have
about
to
that.
deport half of freaking
It's very quiet. I thought it was quite
Appalachia.
good, but I haven't gotten much credit for that. Fake news, good. Pocahontas, good. I won't say Lion Ted because he's on my side. I don't talk about past conquests.
Ooh, Lion 10.
But we have a lot of them.
Yeah, that's a snide
I got
remark.
a whole table full of Republicans there. They're saying, no, don't mention my frickin'
Has
name
Ted
when
recently
you
come out against
we've
Trump
had a lot of good
about
names,
NDAA
but
or
the
anything?
Democrats,
I think he's starting to get political
are there
again
to
and play
destroy
politics because he's
wealth.
gearing up for a
run.
presidential
Honestly,
run.
they've gone
Exactly.
absolutely crazy. Gavin Newsom's not only a man who
So he's talking
really
about Gavin so much.
wants
He's
to
obviously come to the conclusion
run
that
for
Gavin's going to be the
president.
candidate.
He's doing a bad job running a state.
I mean,
You
he
can't
has
have
a
somebody like
shit ton of
J.B.
investigations
Pritzker,
opened on
who I
him.
understand is not
And
president.
he said that he's not going to run. That's what I mean.
Yeah, that's what you say,
people
though, until you do.
Yeah.
Never
No,
use the
Trump
bad
just said that
word.
right now. I'm saying.
And I don't. I would
At the
never call
beginning of when you
anybody
played the
bad.
correspondence dinner.
yeah.
He was saying that Gavin's not going to run.
He was saying
Sir,
that
in the
Gavin
back,
said he wasn't going to run, right?
Okay,
call
yeah.
him a fat pig, okay? I'm sticking up for him. Don't call him.
He still is
You
fucking
can't
up.
do that, sir.
Yeah,
You
he's
can't
hilarious.
call J.B. Pritzker a fat pig, please. All right? Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Everyone's trying to figure out who is that guy? Does he exist? The nice part is when you do that, the press can't get you because I'm defending.
Oh my God. He is fucking hilarious.
Actually,
though.
he's lost a lot of weight.
Man, I want to
I
have
saw
a
him
soft spot for
recently. He
Trump
lost
still, but I'm
quite a
just
bit of
so
weight. I
fucking
don't know what the hell he's got no
disappointed
chance,
in
believe me, with anything he
what this
does.
presidency's
His family
turned
threw him
out to
of the
be so
business.
far.
A number of other potential Democrat contenders sadly refused to show up tonight. We invited Elizabeth Pocahontas Warren. She's referred to Pocahontas because, in fact, I had to apologize. People came up and they said, we want you to apologize to Elizabeth Warren for calling her Pocahontas. And I ended up apologizing to the real Pocahontas. But Elizabeth Warren was
So 10 years ago, Joe.
supposedly of Indian heritage.
Native
And
American.
then she took the test and she only had 1,024th Native American. And I said, you know what? I think I'm more of an Indian than she is. So this is what we have to deal with. But Senator Warren did not accept our invitation to debate. I wanted to debate her in various
And this is supposed to be
sundry things,
casual.
and
Like
she
they
decided not
roast
to
people
do it.
at these correspondence dinners.
And
You
I
know what I mean?
decided
It's supposed
to
to be
bury
like
the hatchet.
jovial, joking.
Doesn't matter.
I thought the White House Correspondents Dinner was different from that famous dinner that occurs right before the
Well, I'm
election.
not going to say this next one. You
I don't
wanna
know
hear
what
this
you're
one?
talking
How
about.
bad?
No.
She
This
wasn't
is
high
supposed
up
like
on her
if you look
totem
at the
pole. Who
past
hell wrote
correspondence
that?
dinners, it's been always lighthearted, jovial. Like they
I
joke a
wanted
lot.
to make sure that Jack Smith, deranged Jack Smith, remember he went after me for about 2 years. How did he do? Not too good. I'm in the White House and he's not doing as well. I was going to say he's in a different kind of a house, but he's a deranged human being. He's a bad prosecutor. You know, prosecutors are very important. A great prosecutor, a fair prosecutor, but that's the great prosecutors, the ones that are fair. They're very important to
Sorry
a
to
country.
sidetrack us
guy
on this,
was
but
a
it's important that we
deranged
cover this,
lunatic.
Bak.
So
that's
his
fine.
invitation tonight, he was invited because, you know, but I put it in a private text to Chuck Grassley. And Chuck saw him and he did a certain thing. And then one man that we had who should be here, he turned Palestinian. This was a man who was 100% for Israel.
Israel.
100%.
Trump does have a
Schumer,
mean list.
Brian Chuck, remember he cried
He's
at the
got
airport
dentures.
It's those
over illegal
dentures, yeah.
immigrants. They were the fakest tears. There were people throwing water in his face. But now he's a proud, very proud Palestinian. In fact, I'm going to send him a beautiful Palestinian outfit tomorrow so he can greet Bibi Netanyahu when he comes to town next week, along with the mayor, who I'm sure would love to meet Bibi.
Dude, that crowd is not
They're
thrilled.
not treating Bibi
No, of
too
course
well,
not.
but Chuck wanted to join us tonight.
They're not supporting him,
but
bro.
he didn't want to be
They're ready to
violating
turn on his
Many
ass.
parts of the
Especially going into the
Palestinian
midterm
rules,
election
regulations,
cycle.
And certainly he didn't want to violate Sharia law, his new founding. And all joking aside, I do think we need term limits in Congress. I think term limits are very important because I see what's happening.
Let's talk more
The
walk.
other day, a senator I
Yeah.
knew got a text, a great guy, from his wife. And she said, when you get home, I want to have you immediately come up the stairs and make love to me. And he said, I can't do both. You know what? In other words, can't go up the stairs and make love. Does anybody get that? Well, I thought that was actually pretty good.
Man, this is
That
kind
was
of
actually
painful
the
to
only
watch
thing I
right
thought
now,
was good in this
dude.
whole freaking stupid speech that they wrote.
That's
That was
fucking.
the only good one, and that went down with not exactly great laughter. I think, in other words, you can't go up the stairs and make love. Two
What
we're looking
fuck
for term
is he
limits. Does
talking
anybody
about?
understand this stuff?
Yeah, now he's bashing the speechwriter for this.
But
Like, that
I
joke
really
wasn't
do
fucking
wonder
funny.
whether the Democrats are trying to lose the midterms. In Maine, they nominated a guy with a Nazi tattoo. But don't worry, Democrats. Word is that Platt, his replacement, he throws bottles at women. This guy throws bottles. This guy's another lunatic, by the way. Although I think
Talking about
Plattner might
Meatloaf?
have done surprisingly well because we're in the age of Trump.
You know what he's talking about, right? The trans candidate
People
that
can do
ran
well
in
today.
Maine.
Plattner, I don't know, but
I meant
people
straight,
don't have
but
the
in
guts
my-
to
out of my
stick it out,
butthole.
But it looked like he
Literally
was
said
guilty of
that.
a lot of stuff. He certainly didn't defend himself very well. In Texas, the Democrats are running a candidate named James Telefrico, who hates guns, hates oil, hates sex, hates women, and who said he is, quote, a Christian who hates Christianity. Other than that, I think his platform is quite good. And that means that he's
All
not
right,
going to
this
do
is
very
just
well
trash.
against Ken Paxton.
Let's get off.
I thought
this.
he was going to say cool shit.
No, he's you know.
Yeah, we'll move.
So
we'll
who
move
the
on.
fuck wants to even care about empty promises, anyways, bro? I want congressional term limits. Cool. Introduce the legislation. Stop primarying,
Mm-hmm.
you know, your own party members that would get that over the hill.
All right,
Why don't we?
What's the next one?
Oh, this is super important here, and this shouldn't be lost on
Hate speech?
anybody. Yeah, clip 108.
Overnight, a Rochester jury reaching a late-night verdict in the case of a woman accused of calling a little boy a racial slur at a park.
Shiloh Hendrix was facing 2 counts of disorderly conduct. Hannah Flood is in the Live Center with how this trial ended and what this means going forward. Hi, Hannah.
Yeah, good morning. You may remember this case because of that now viral video that started all of it. The video shows Shiloh Hendrix allegedly calling an 8-year-old boy with autism a racial slur while she was out at the playground with her child. It was posted last year and it led to community rallies and an outpouring of support both for the child and family it featured, but also for the woman, for Hendrix. She was charged with 2 counts of disorderly conduct and took the case all the way to a jury trial. According to KTTC, late last night, the jury returned a split verdict, finding her guilty of
Shiloh?
1
She's
count,
bad.
but not guilty of the other count. The
So they
count
got
she
her for
was found
disorderly
guilty
conduct.
for.
Yeah,
That's
and
what the charge
200
was.
hours of probation and $1,000 fine. But the significant, 100% would. The significant thing here is this sets a precedent for other cases to be brought forward
Right.
in the name of hate speech.
Right. So if I'm in an argument with somebody, but I'm not like raising hell, and I call them a slur, they can come after me for my speech by calling it disorderly conduct.
Yeah, there is no such thing as hate speech.
Right.
Yes, there is hateful
Well,
speech.
that's why they had to charge her with disorderly conduct.
You shouldn't be charging her with
I
fucking
understand.
anything.
And there was nothing really disorderly about that because she wasn't thrown over tables. Nobody was put in danger.
No, she never. If she said N and then hit the person,
Yeah, that's bullshit.
we have laws against
That's
that.
bullshit.
Yeah, and this sets the precedent for what they're doing in Australia,
Wow.
in Canada. Fucking mind. The Gestapo will come to your house and fucking pull you out and arrest you. Thank you, Honey Badger, for the $5 super chat. Harrison Smith for Emperor. Chase Geiser for Secretary of State. Alex Jones, Speaker of the House. Rex Jones for Press Secretary. That's a government we'll never get.
Oh my God, can you imagine?
I would straighten this country out in fucking 10 minutes.
If I was Secretary of State, oh my God.
Over the CIA. Oh, you're over the NSA, essentially, the CIA, Homeland Security. Secretary of State is the top job you can get in government.
Yeah, I mean, look what Hillary Clinton did with it.
It's like AG, Secretary of State, right under the president. You have almost as much power as the president, especially on things like domestic and foreign policy, bro.
Well, you can manipulate the president.
Oh, 100%, dude. That would be the job to get.
You're
man.
basically the lobbyist on behalf of the intelligence community that gets FaceTime with the president.
Yeah. Thank you, Mr. C, USA Patriot, for the $10 super chat. It was actually a violation of our Constitution. Disorderly conduct requires conduct. Simply saying words without a threat and being arrested for it is an absolute violation of our rights.
Yep.
Yeah. There's no such thing as hate speech. Period. And the day you see that come to America, that's the red line in the sand. Because you have the First Amendment for a reason. It's number 1 for a reason. You have the Second Amendment to protect the First Amendment.
And you have the 19th Amendment to ruin them all.
Yeah, exactly. Can we really just do like a 3/5 compromise? Please.
What do you mean, where women only get 3/5 of the vote?
Yeah, they're considered 3/5 of a vote. But if you consent to that, you never pay federal income tax. seems like a pretty good, tempting.
I think
trade-off.
we make it so that if you're married, you get 1 vote. If you're married and you own property, you get 2 votes. If you're married and you own property and you have children, you get a vote for every child that you have.
The only problem with the property rights argument nowadays is the fastest growing segment of homeowners are newly divorced women. Like they're the.
If you're divorced, you lose a vote.
Okay, hey, I can.
We got a depopulation problem. We're going to give you more votes if you have children. We want you to be married if you vote because we're family oriented, and it would solve the liberal problem because most liberal women become more conservative after they get married.
Yeah, I mean, most people become conservative when they start a family, and family formation happens when they start a business.
Yeah.
When they come into contact with the real fucking world. Thank you, Mr. C, USA Patriot. That's when we take up arms. Watch list incoming. Everyone is on a watch list. You are all on a watch list.
I'm on at least 2.
We
I'm on
just
the
have
Ukrainians
different
enemies of the state list,
designations.
and I'm on the FBI list.
They have your penal prints. They have your vag pictures. They have your areolas. They have everything. If you ever even whacked your
Half
bag,
of our viewers are employees of the federal government. Just watching.
Yep. So just assume you're on a list. It doesn't matter. Should we hit clip 109?
Yeah.
Now we're going to get into the economic news.
Today, the Magnificent Seven suffered its biggest one-day drop since the tariffs chaos of April. And we can get some perspective now with Ven Ram, cross-asset strategist at Bloomberg.
So Mag 7 had a massive drop. That's the top 7 companies in the stock market in the United States. What percentage of the economy do they represent? The market?
I don't know exactly the percentage of the market, but these, like, the only gains that come from the S&P, they're all driven forward by the Mag 7 because they recycle money to each other. So if there's $40 billion printed, NVIDIA will get, will buy their own shares, prop themselves up. Then they'll buy components for semiconductors from Micron. Then Micron will get
It's the
propped
conglomeration
up.
itself.
Exactly. It's just a
Recursive.
flywheel.
It's recursive. The output is the input.
Yes. But the returns get lower and lower. It used to be you could make 40% on every dollar invested within the Mag 7 when they recycle the money throughout each other and through the supply chain. Now it's like 20%, and pretty soon it's going to be 10% returns. And this just happened.
So about 32.5% of the S&P 500 is represented by the Mag 7. So as of late July 2026, the Magnificent Seven, which is Apple, Microsoft, NVIDIA, Amazon, Alphabet, Meta, and Tesla, make up roughly 32.5% of the S&P 500 by market cap weight. That's 7 companies that represent basically 32% of the economy.
Yeah, and if they take a drop to the tune of almost $1 trillion, $800 billion essentially in one day, this just happened when I played a clip about the Korean stock market and how it's 2 companies driving the Kospi. It's Samsung and SKNI, I believe.
So Tesla loses $18 billion in one day on Thursday. Why?
We'll play that. Let's play the clip.
June fell by more than $18 billion on Thursday as Tesla saw its worst intraday sell-off in more than a year following the automaker's earnings that disappointed Wall Street. Tesla shares plunged more than 14% as of Thursday afternoon, pacing what would be the largest single-day decline for the stock since June 5th, 2025. That drop in Tesla's share price lowered Musk's net worth to $731.7 billion, even as he remains the world's richest person, ahead of Google co-founder Larry Page and Amazon's Jeff Bezos. During earnings on Wednesday, Tesla reported $28.2 billion in revenue, beating consensus analyst estimates of $27.2 billion, according to FactSet, but posted profits
revenue
that
was
fell
up,
well
profits
below
were down.
projections at 33 cents per share for the quarter. The firm's chief financial
So that's
officer...
terrible because they should correlate.
Yeah.
So that tells you the artificial propping right there, dude.
Well, I don't know that it's artificially propped. I mean, what are they just investing massive amounts of cash in new tech?
A lot of these companies, they buy their own stocks and stock buybacks.
I understand, but the revenue at Tesla grew. The profit slipped, right? Which is something that makes sense for a company that's growing, right? I mean, if you're trying to scale, say you own, 10 mechanic shops and you want to scale to 100, you'll take all the profit from those 10 to invest in the real estate, the infrastructure for the next 20, for the next 30, for the next 40, right?
Yeah.
And so they probably, I don't know the details because that's the first I've heard of it, but I imagine that they're taking all of their cash and they're investing in some kind of Massive growth.
Well, Tesla isn't a car company. It's really a robotics company.
Well, it's an AI company. It's a robotics company. It's a battery company, kind of.
Yeah.
But
that's
I haven't
the
been.
pivot.
I haven't been following Tesla though. Are they building like massive new facilities?
Yeah.
That's why their profits are down.
They're building everything out. Remember
That's
the
why.
Gigafactory?
They're in growth mode. That's fine. They'll bounce back. Tesla will bounce back. I don't know about the Mag 7, but I'm not worried about Tesla.
Well, we should be worried because the stock market, even though 80% of Americans, something like that, don't even own stock, it is the main driver of the economy at this point. So you should be worried when the Mag 7 bubble is about to pop. That's fucking terrible
Well,
for
certainly
the country.
it's really bad for the boomers.
Oh, boomers are
They
done.
get hit the most.
Yeah, the most selfish
And
generation.
then they don't spend, so the other generations suffer.
Mhm.
Okay, let's keep going. Amazon layoffs. Let's do this.
And now we're working to confirm the number of
Wood
local
left,
employees
wood
actually
not right.
impacted by these
Barely
cuts.
a wood
In
left.
this
Her arms are
latest
really
round
strong.
of tech cuts tied to AI. Camera 7's Jake Chapman has been speaking with business experts. And Jake, is this news concerning for other nearby businesses?
Well, Monique and Elle, it really depends on who you ask. On one hand, you've got groups, neighboring businesses worried about the loss of foot traffic when it comes to these layoffs. But on the other hand, business experts I have spoken with say even with these layoffs, more jobs in AI are still coming to Seattle. Seattle's biggest tech employer, Amazon, confirming another round of layoffs.
What we're seeing with this
Jesus
is
Christ.
the incredibly
Look at
fast
her.
pace of development
Yeah, she's hurting for
of
certain.
AI.
Amazon says the cuts are part of its AGI organization, or Artificial General Intelligence. AI has been a part of the reason for recent rounds of layoffs at the company.
What Amazon's doing is saying, okay, we've figured some stuff out. We know now where we can generate some returns, where we can change processes and workflows
Okay.
and be able to
So, artificial general intelligence is on the horizon, and Amazon is laying off staff that's responsible for developing artificial intelligence.
Yeah, because AGI will just write more AI, coding, everything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So this isn't something, it's not on the horizon, it's here.
They realize that they lost the artificial intelligence race. They're not even in the top 5.
Oh, of course, yeah.
And
Amazon Web
so,
Services.
Yeah, so they're folding. They're just walking away with whatever.
Well,
chips
they're becoming leaner now. They're not giving up. Honey Badger, thank you for the $10 super chat. He says, I'm a vet, have over 10 firearms, under barrel launcher, watch InfoWars, have Chase's number saved in my phone,
Hell
talk
yeah.
crap on the government, and have a 2026 truck. So it's spying on me. I am on a lot of lists. Hell, fuck yeah, you are, brother.
All right. What about Paramount and Warner halting their merger? Do we need to watch the clip, or what happened?
No, so we're a little bit behind anyway. So now there's like disease shit I want to hit.
Okay.
So
we can skip around.
yeah.
What do you want to do next?
So hold on, I'll just preface it real quick. Paramount, Warner, we're gonna have a merger. It was essentially going to allow Paramount to own most of the media in the United States, the most valuable streaming services, the movie production studios, et cetera, et cetera. It was worth close to $80 billion, but now it's being halted because
Antitrust?
I don't know exactly what the the Chinese company is called Buy Now. You can't make this shit up, dude. And they're already rapidly outpacing. Well, these are their claims, but they did shy. And they are going to offer you a cornucopia, something like a utopia, but you're not. You like that? I'm spitting rhymes, bro. You're not going to get it without being initiated through a Luciferian ritual, which is the mark of the beast. So as they rapidly decrease standard of living, they inflate, then deflate, and then probably reinflate, and then probably deflate again to get the wealth on the way up and the way down. As they introduce communism, fascism, complete globalism, you desperately will cling to your former standard of living, and you will accept the initiation.
The biggest indicator of how well things are doing economically in terms of inflation or deflation is going to be Oprah's weight.
You get what I'm saying here, though?
Yeah.
They're going to dangle this carrot in front of your face. They're going to be like, hey, you're going to sign over your rights to own to us, but you can rent what you have, live in a smart city. We
don't need to hit the Opus 5 drop clip.
Yeah.
We can just tell everybody that Opus 5 dropped, which is Claude's new model. It's supposed to be more token efficient, so AI is getting better. We're getting closer to AGI.
Yep, the AI arms race is here. Let's play 118. I'm actually excited about this.
Moments ago, an advisory committee for the FDA voted to ease restrictions on a popular but unregulated peptide. The group will vote today on the regulations surrounding a few other peptides as well. They've really surged in popularity across this wellness industry, despite some doctors expressing their skepticism about the safety and efficacy of peptides. A few have actually undergone thorough clinical trials. Yet some influencers and celebrities are still marketing them as effective treatments for a range of things, including weight loss, immunity, and skin health. NBC News medical reporter Erika Edwards following this one for us. So
new peptides are getting approved.
Yeah, they're approving 7 peptides, but this is the warning that has to come. They never tell you about this. Pfizer and other major pharmaceutical companies have significantly ramped up investments in peptide therapeutics. They're going to use these as a backdoor vector for mRNA, vaccinations, etc.
Well, and that's interesting because think about it. Peptides have, correct me if I'm wrong, Buck, you know way more about this than I do. But my understanding is that peptides have predominantly been preventative measures, right? I mean,
yes.
Obviously, you can take them in response to a problem that you have, but it's something that people take.
It's part of a wellness routine.
It's part of a wellness routine. And if we know anything about big pharma, we know that big pharma hates preventative stuff. They hate wellness because they only make money off of patients who are sick. I mean, I guess they love preventative to the extent that they love vaccines, but the reason they love vaccines so much is because you always have to go get a booster or a new one. It's reoccurring revenue for big pharma. So why is it that big pharma would be so interested in products that are part of a wellness routine? I guess because it's recurring revenue, you have to consume it regularly, but it seems to me that the more their clients or customers are, that it would have a negative impact on their revenue. So what if everybody gets on peptides and then diabetes goes way down because people are managing their weight better? Then are they going to lose their ass on insulin? Like what is the angle here? Why is pharma interested for the first time seemingly in something that keeps people healthy?
If you can't beat them, you join them. So they banned it. They slowed the progress of the industry in the United States until they had big pharma positioned. GLP-1 inhibitors are essentially derivatives of Gila monster venom. It is a peptide. So now they're in position. The big pharma companies are in position to take over the peptide industry, which was going to be burgeoning because people get gray market peptides anyways. They already have workarounds. It's considered for research purposes only, but almost everyone I know that's active is on a peptide or another. So now they're getting in the game and they figured out, hey, we'll just use these as backdoors, like the same way they vaccinate your food, they vaccinate livestock, they spray it on you. There's nano shedding from these vaccines. They're going to use this for some sort of other nefarious purpose.
Yes.
So that peptides being approved, good. Pfizer and Novo getting into the game, bad.
Fuck that. Yeah. Okay.
Mr.
Fascinating.
C, USA Patriot, thank you for the super chat. They want lifelong customers. It's a sick care system. These shots are going to destroy your health. GLP-1 is the devil. Yeah, just be aware.
That's Ozempic, right? GLP-1.
Yeah. GLP-1 is Wegovy, Ozempic.
And by the way, I can confirm with 100% confidence that Alex Jones has not, and does not take GLP-1. A lot of people, when he lost all that weight, thought he was on Ozempic. No, man. He did it old-fashioned. However, I do have inside information that Glenn Beck has been experimenting with it, but apparently to no avail.
Yeah. Can we get into clip 119?
Yes.
PJM grid fails from data centers.
What's PJM stand for?
So, I believe it's I have the right
Today's discussion has included a lot of high-level technical terms that go above most of our heads. But then there are point-blank statements like this one from the head of the U.S. Department of Energy.
There are truly excellent, capable staff at PJM. That being said, PJM is a mess.
So let's back up. PJM Interconnection manages the largest power grid in the U.S.
Okay.
ComEd uses some of PJM's
And
more than 88,000 miles of
networks.
transmission lines. PJM executives have publicly said the lights are at risk of switching off for millions of Americans because demand for electricity is on track to outpace what the grid can supply.
Yeah,
PJM blames this crisis on the growth of data.
Yeah, they're blaming it on data centers, but it powers all the real estate, all the geography where all of our military-industrial complexes, the CIA, FBI, all the intelligence community, Washington, D.C., deep underground military bases, all the massive development. Yeah, that makes sense.
Powers from like New Jersey to the Midwest.
Yeah. We're not going to have lights anymore because the military-industrial complex wants to have artificial intelligence.
Well, that's actually pretty acute observation there. Astute observation, I mean. Yeah, it could be just a cover story for all we fucking know. Let's hit clip 1. Now, this is the part I like to dig and do research on this, on like what type of environmental disasters, what kind of diseases.
We'll watch it and I'll let you cook.
Yep.
All right.
We are continuing to follow a developing story out of the Metro East where Illinois emergency management officials have confirmed that they are actively testing for radioactive material. 5 on Your Side's Holner Kowicki is joining us now with more details on what they're looking for and then really why.
Well, Michelle, the testing is centered around what the Department of Energy calls the Madison site. It's a former spectrolite plant in Venice, Illinois, that in the 50s and 60s performed uranium extrusion and rod straightening for the Atomic Energy Commission.
Straighten your rod.
In 1989, the factory became a Superfund site after radioactive dust was found inside the factory.
We need to go inside the factory
to
straighten his rod.
And if you were beating it, fuck you too!
Dust made its way into the homes of former employees and nearby yards. Larry Bergen was one of more than 170 employees at the factory that has already received compensation from the National Institute of Occupational Safety and Health. He's hopeful the results of this testing will allow Venice residents to be included in the Radiation Exposure Compensation Act.
Okay, cook.
Yep. So we have radioactive dust apparently going around Illinois. Let's hit clip 121. A new tick-borne illness.
We have a health alert in the tri-state. Doctors concerned about what be a rapid rise in tick population. Comes as doctors on Long Island confirm the first case of a rare virus linked to a tick bite. And News 4's Paisy Chang live in Shirley to explain further for us. Hi, Paisy.
Hi, yes, this is the first confirmed case of bourbon virus from a tick bite in New York. The man was bitten in 2021, but the samples were not sent until recently. And just a few weeks ago, the state health department confirmed that it is bourbon virus. Doctors say this should be a warning to everyone to be very vigilant. This
motherfucker got bit by a tick 5 years ago. He's got bourbon virus now.
This is a clip from like 3 weeks ago.
Yeah. So and doctors start telling everybody to be really vigilant. How am I supposed to go back to 2021 and be vigilant about ticks?
Quiet weapons for silent wars. Dude, they're poisoning fucking everything right now. And like, when I was just doing the write-up for this and editing clips for today's episode, I was like, holy shit, look at all these diseases that are like...
And it's not the tick thing is like it's a motif this year. It's not just the bourbon virus. What was the other tick one? Obviously Lyme disease. What's the other one? Alpha-gal. Is that the big one?
Yeah, that's been the big one that everyone's been on.
And I've seen ticks everywhere, and they have been dropping them in boxes.
Yeah, they've been dropping them in people's
and they're
fields.
acting like nothing's going the fuck on. What the fuck?
Quiet weapons for silent wars, dude. That's, ticks, they don't rage.
This is really ticking me off.
Yeah. Bro, I mean, what the fuck is even that? Bourbon disease? I thought they were poisoning the whiskey, and I started watching the clip, and I was like,
can you
another
imagine?
Tick virus.
Can you imagine Katy Perry gets alpha-gal? She can't eat human meat anymore.
She's going to be a victim of Kuru disease, for sure. Thank you, Mr. C, USA Patriot. Y'all have that Lone Star tick in Tennessee.
Yeah, that's true. Have you seen the evidence that Epstein had Kuru?
No, I haven't seen that evidence.
People have been analyzing some of his videos, some of his facial expressions that are indicative of early.
Good.
Kuru.
God's wrath is being imposed upon you, human flesh eaters.
Yeah, wow.
Let's hit the clip 122.
Christian Spinoza drove us deep into the groves of his Florida family's fifth-generation farm. 800 acres of citrus, squeezed by a series of disasters.
It's hard.
Is it as challenging as it's ever been?
For me, yes, for sure.
Resilience, you got to have it.
Got to have it.
Orange juice from Florida tastes great anytime.
In its juicy heyday, a glass of OJ was a staple of a healthy breakfast. OJ. Orange crops flourished in Florida, the Orange State. The good old days.
The good old days.
But Shannon Shep knows nostalgia is no nutrient to grow a sunny future. She's the executive director of the state's Department of Citrus.
Some industries have supply issues, some have demand issues. Oranges have both. Fair?
Fair.
Which is the greater challenge?
For us right now it is supply. There's that reality moment that hit us in about 2010 that we really did have the worst disease you could possibly have.
So this has been going on for 16 years.
Disease.
Yeah, but now it's hitting terminal.
That disease is called citrus greening, and it's grave to the groves in Florida. A bacterial infection.
There's a massive infection that's killing all of the orange production, citrus production in the United States.
90% of the orange groves in the United States have citrus greening disease in them. So, and it's incurable.
90%? You told me earlier that
I did the research. It's like 89%, dude.
Okay, so can they survive for a period of time with it? Is there like a latency?
There was, but not anymore.
Okay.
It's rapidly infecting all
so
the
they got
groves.
AIDS 16 years ago, and now they're finally getting pneumonia and dying.
But it's
basically.
accelerated.
Right.
And the rate of infection and the spread of the infection is accelerated. We could see the whole U.S. citrus crop affected within like the next few years. So if you love orange juice, I don't know what to tell y'all, you know? I love orange juice too. I love a glass of OJ with breakfast. But that could be a thing of the past pretty soon.
Okay, we don't have to hit all these clips unless you really want to, Bak.
Well, I want to hit the disease ones and MTG.
Okay.
And then
Yeah. I'm not trying to rush you. I'm just saying some of these we could probably skip over for some of the later ones look more interesting to me.
Well, do you care if we go 10 minutes over?
Yeah, that's fine.
All right. Let's hit 123 because I like covering which diseases are going around.
This is the last time I'm going 10 minutes over, though.
All right.
Because the show's going to be
fair.
over at 10.
Brown bullhead catfish in Lake Memphremagog that had melanoma, but they didn't know why. There are only 3 other known animals with these kinds of transmissible cancers, and so it's rare in nature. Discussing this with the other people in the field, the conclusion we're coming to is maybe it's not as rare as we think. You know, you only kind of see what you're looking for. Now we have this collaboration with the main transmissible cancer lab in the world, which is at the University of Cambridge.
Okay, so they found transmissible cancer in catfish.
Yes. So they found a new transmissible cancer, the University of Vermont did, and they're saying that it's already infected 3 different fish species. It's not just
sounds
catfish.
fishy to me.
Huh?
Sounds fishy to me.
Yeah. So you have something that's potentially transgenic here. Dude, this is total unmitigated warfare against the environment. You see the deer
massive
wasting
ticks.
disease.
You got the deer wasting. You got the citrus collapsing. You got transmissible cancer in the catfish. You got mRNA vaccines getting put into the produce. Now they're trying to put it into the agriculture.
Yep.
Or not the agriculture, but the
livestock.
Livestock. Thank you.
Yeah, they want you off the land. They don't want you independent.
Right. Plus, and while all this is occurring, all of the farmland is being conglomerated.
Yeah, and used up for data centers or bought by the Chinese or just bought by the military-industrial complex.
Fucking wild.
They, you know,
wild, dude.
We're going into a period of famine soon. We absolutely. You see what's happening in the Netherlands. You see what's happening with the EU, which has always cared about food purity and safety standards. They have very high standards, but now they're cutting the crops off. You see the fertilizer problem through the Strait of Hormuz. Famine is coming. 100%. You need to get ready.
Let's go straight to fourth turning clip, because I think it lines up with what you were just saying very well about this manufactured collapse.
Well, can we play clip 124? It's the last disease clip.
Sure.
All right, thank you.
Scramble to prevent the spread of an invasive pest capable of destroying vineyards and much more. Officials in the North Bay say the insect could threaten grape production, the wine industry, and spread disease. Kenny Choi explains why officials are racing to track down Costco shoppers all across our region.
The Grassi family in West Marin used to be dairy farmers. Ralph Grassi hopes starting a small winery could keep their family business going.
Within a few days now, we'll be able to get a good sense of what kind of crop we get this year.
Just as they embark on a new venture, the unexpected spread of the glassy winged sharpshooter, an invasive pest, has grape growers in Northern California on high alert.
It could be devastating to our crop. Here's the new
I can't believe we know more about the grassy winged sharpshooter than
the clients from the Epstein list,
and then Crooks, the sharpshooter.
Yeah, or
Tyler Robinson, the sharpshooter.
Exactly.
Wow.
So they're coming for the grapes, they're coming for the oranges, they're coming for your balls, they're coming for all the food and your nuts.
All right, fourth turning.
Fourth turning.
But types of generations, what we later call archetypes, tend to recur in the same order historically.
So it's almost like a curve.
Well, it's a wave when you look at their impact on history.
Right.
It's a wave.
Uh-huh.
But the actual
This
generations,
is the author of
for
The Fourth
instance,
Turning. Everyone should read that book.
A generation that, sort of a heroic, history-making, changing generation,
Mm-hmm.
that takes the country through great wars and founds all kinds of new institutions. Typically is followed by a rather timid, risk-averse generation. They were the children during the war. They're careful not to upset, everything that was just created. Everyone just lost all these lives on their behalf. Woo,
Right.
And a good example of that would be the GI generation, generation went through World War II, and the so-called silent generation, who were the kids of World War II and the Great Depression.
The book,
And they
by
were
the way,
famous
The
for,
Fourth Turning,
I don't want
predicted 9/11. It said that there would likely be a terrorist attack in the early 2000s.
Yeah, and then that would enter the hard time of the cycle.
Yes. And we're supposed to be
We're overdue.
We're supposed to be in the climax of the hard time. But what's unprecedented about what's going on now, Bacchus, is we're supposed to be hitting this massive collapse hard time, which then catalyzes the renaissance, the rebirth of the first turning, right? But it's unprecedented because we have this massive, disruptive, and super powerful technology and resource that's culminating. And I wonder if this fourth turning is going to play out differently because of AI, or if AI is what's actually going to cause it.
No, they know we're overdue, so they prolong.
We're not even overdue, dude. I think we're right on time.
No, we're overdue. Should have happened I believe we're on like year 87 into what should have already happened like 6 or 7 years ago.
Yeah, but it starts out slow. It's not like one moment. I mean, I guess it was with the stock exchange collapsing in 1929, but I would say that we've been in decline consistently over the last 10 years, big time.
Shout out Sex Twister. Thank you for the $20 super chat. He says, thanks for going 10 minutes over.
Hell yeah.
Shout out Mr. C USA Patriot
I
for the
tell you
super
what,
chat.
somebody gives $500, I'll go another hour.
Mr. C USA Patriot, thank you. This is the fourth turning. Don't need to shout this.
Oh, well, you shouted it.
Of
Fucking
course.
dumb shit. I'm just kidding. All right, how about MTG?
What is there to vote for at this point? Why pay taxes? I'm for a full political revolution. I
Would
think
left,
it's
would not
necessary.
right.
It's the most American thing that we could do. Have a full political revolution. Why pay taxes? I mean, we're not even mandated to do it anyways.
I love it.
That's a whole nother lie that there is.
I love it. I would love to have you on. I saw that you had an interview with another fellow who I interviewed years ago about a tax revolt, essentially. And
Payman Mataheda.
Yes.
Payman Mataheda. He's the greatest.
He's great.
Freedom Law School. Freedom Law School. Yes.
So good. And, the problem with that, years ago is that it was kind of a narrow, only a few people were doing it, and they can attack you if it's just a couple people. But if you had through organization, right? If we spent our time, rather than throwing money behind politicians and trying to get good guys elected into a corrupt system, if we took all of that money, all of that organization, all that time and energy, and focused it on organizing people to revolt peacefully against the federal
Civil
government, which
disobedience.
is unconstitutional, there's no way they could stop us.
No.
There's no way they couldn't. If 5,000 Americans got together and didn't pay their taxes, what are they going to do? They can't do anything with it.
Well, let me tell you, Payman Mataheda from the Freedom Law School, I'm going to plug him so hard because
what they're missing here, I'm so glad MTG is advocating for this, because this is something that I've been advocating for a long time, and I agree with her. But the problem is everybody's income tax is automatically withheld, minus small business owners or people that make income on the side. So there's only a specific demographic or subset of the United States of America that's even capable of engaging in an income tax protest. That's the trouble. So all you have to do, you have to get every small business owner to say that they're not going to do it, I guess.
Yeah. You only need like 5,000 to 10,000.
Yeah. Or everybody that pays capital gains tax, right? They could do it.
And you get a few corporate leaders involved too, then this thing gets really cooking. Thank you, Sex Twister, for the loot box. 1,000 jewels. Really appreciate you, Sex Twister. That's very generous of you. Thank you. And Chase, I am not a retard. I chose to read that super chat because he's been giving to us all night, and I
You're so
appreciate
retarded. You're brilliant. We talked about the horseshoe theory.
You are retarded.
Yeah.
I'm glad we're in agreement there.
You have to be one to see one.
That's true. We are retarded. Now I feel bad.
We are Charlie Cook.
We are.
The retards of the nation.
There are 3 very intriguing clips here. I feel like we should go another 5 minutes, 10 minutes.
We'll go 8. We said we're going to go 10 after. Yeah,
all right,
we'll go 8. But do you want to do these clips?
I
do. You
do.
want to save them?
Yeah, I didn't realize it was
It's okay.
microscopic. Like your peas.
That looks good. That looks like a real enchilada that you would get.
Yeah,
at
they brought the enchilada back.
It looks like something you might actually get at a Mexican restaurant, not just fast food. That's great.
Thank you, Mr. C, for the $5 super chat again. Wow, I meant you don't need to shout the super chat. I know that, Mr. C. I did it because I love you, bro.
He did it because he's retarded.
I didn't want to interrupt your flow. Think you may have missed the intent. No, I got the intent.
If you would beat me, then fuck you too.
Thank you, Honey Badger, for the $5 super chat. He says, Chase, don't say come December when the UPS guys are making triple time. I'll give you 501 shot when I'm making 120 an hour. Bro, I'm so happy for you, bro.
Yes.
Hell fucking yeah, man. And we appreciate all the support you guys give to us. Don't ever feel pressured if,
No, feel pressured. Max out your credit card, declare bankruptcy, keep us on the air.
Yeah, don't pay your taxes. That's enough for me, man.
Yeah, if everybody would just divert their taxes away from the federal government straight into the Chase Geiser network, we would have the revolution our founders dreamed of.
But we always tell people who support us, if you're not financially able, don't just share, like, subscribe to the channel, guys, and just tell people about our show. We need to break through with the algorithm distribution because we're not being shadow banned, but we're just not being distributed.
Well, here's the problem. Our clips get millions of views on Facebook. So we'll take clips from the show. I had one clip from the show, got $1.1 million, or excuse me, 1.1 million views on Facebook last week. I'm averaging 100,000 views a clip. On Instagram, frequently over 50,000, 100,000 views on clips from the show. On TikTok, frequently over 50,000, 100,000 views on clips from the show. On Twitter, 3 million impressions on my content a month. Good month. On YouTube, 500 views a show. 500 views of the same clips that go viral, over 1 million views on the other platforms. We're not being shadow banned on YouTube. YouTube is just massively, massively saturated.
That's what Viva was telling you.
It's so much harder to get views. So what we're going to be doing next week is we're going to be launching a new platform for the show. We're going to be doing a behind-the-scenes pre-show show for members only on Chase Geiser Network, whether you're a free member or a paid member, where it's Bak and I preparing for the show that's going to be aired everywhere.
Or a YouTube channel member, too.
Yes, correct. So you'll be able to watch us hang out and talk about what we're going to talk about if you want, and you can chat and stuff.
Set up
and
for
we'll
the
respond
stream.
as we get set up for the stream. That's very informal. We're not going to be entertaining you guys or playing clips. It's literally just going to be Bak and I hanging out as if we're not being watched. Then we're going to do the show from 8 to 10 p.m. Central, public. Anybody can watch it. Don't have to be a member, whatever. And then from 10 to 11 p.m., Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, after the show, it's going to be members only again, and that's where we're going to take speakers, callers, maybe have guests, things like that. So that's going to begin next week. But in addition to that, next week we are going to start populating our Spotify channel with our episodes, so you can subscribe there and support us there and leave a review there. We are going to start streaming on Facebook. We are going to start streaming on Rumble next week as well. We're really going to try to push hard on Rumble because though we're never going to give up on YouTube, and YouTube is our #1 revenue generator, despite the fact that it's the least amount of our views, we're never going to give up on YouTube, and we really want to pop there because that's how we can have a massive impact long term. But we encourage you to support us everywhere you can. So you can go to chasegeiser.com. You can sign up as a foundational member. You can cancel anytime. I think subscriptions start at $9.99, and there's different tiers depending on how much you can afford, how much you want to support. And you can sign up for free just by giving us your email address there so we can communicate to you, let you know when we're live. And you get access to a special member community chat in the background, different messages.
There will be exclusive content. I'll be doing Bak on the board.
Content, and you'll be able to access, obviously, the pre-show and the after-show there next week as well. So please sign up at chasegeiser.com. Send me a DM or a reply if you have any technical difficulties, because I did develop it myself, since Bak and I are the crew and the hosts both. It's a startup. It's early. So please sign up at chasegeiser.com if you can. However, if you're not in a position to give regular money or subscribe or whatever, totally understand. My family, we run on a tight budget. My wife she's cutting coupons. It's crazy. Please subscribe and turn on bell notifications on the YouTube channel so you get notified when we go live. I do spontaneously go live outside of the schedule. We do this show from 8 to 10 p.m. Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, but Tuesday I had a buddy on with me for an hour, and that was fun. And yesterday I spontaneously did an hour and 15, hour and 20-minute debate with Viva Frei, which was a lot of fun. And people were saying, hey, let us know. But we're going to spontaneously do content outside of the regular schedule, so make sure that you turn on the bell notifications on YouTube so you get pinged when we're going live. And we're going to be get a new content schedule together as well, where we're uploading react videos, special reports outside of the live show to the channel, because we are going all in. But the only way that it's possible for us to be successful at this is not just with your financial support, but with your support of our content, with your sharing of our content. Everything that we make is free to air. It's free to download. It's free to edit. So please feel free to rip any of our content.
We encourage it, yeah.
Re-upload it.
Remix it.
I don't care if you put it on your own YouTube channel. I don't care if you put it on your own X account, whatever. Do whatever you want. I'm not trying to have a monopoly or total control of my own content. This is not,
Make fun of Chase. Make a parody account. Give him a tiny dick.
Absolutely. And another thing that we're going to do as well is we are going to be creating a Clipper community in the back end of our website. And so after we do a broadcast together, Bak and I are going to upload dozens of likely to go viral clips from the broadcast that you're free to download, edit, or manipulate in any way that you want and post on all of your socials. Because if you're not in a position, like I said, to financially support this network, which is going to have more shows, more hosts other than just myself and Bak, then the best thing you can do is make us go viral as often as possible, because we are running through the storm, not away from the storm. We're not huddling up like cattle. We're like bison or buffalo or whatever, and we're running straight through the eye of the storm until we get to the other side. We're not going to stop. So thank you so much for your support at ChaseGeiser.com. Thank you for going to my bio on X at RealChaseGeiser and clicking on the YouTube link and subscribing there and clicking the bell notifications. Thank you to everyone who gave us a super chat. Obviously, thank you to all the incredible speakers and hosts that we have in the spaces whenever we take space speakers like Maze and Destiny and Molly G's joined us before. And I don't know if everybody's in the space tonight.
Shout out Hannah Griff.
Yeah. Shout out Hannah Griff. Thank you guys so much for all of your incredible support. Bak, is there anything you want to say? Are there any last minute super chats?
Yeah, I'm going to make us. Yes, exactly. Thank you for spamming the last minute super chats. I knew it was worth us going over on a Friday.
Yeah.
Motherfucker. I fucking knew it. Fellow American, thank you for the $10 super chat. 89-cent 5-layer burritos. Remember what they took from us. The enchilada is back, baby. Astrobot, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. If you want to see how much the country has changed, watch Freebird at the Oakland Coliseum in 1977. Look at the crowd.
Yeah.
Healthy, happy,
and
skinny.
Sorry, Honey Badger, we missed the JFK thing. We're going to get it next time. Text me, blow up Bak about it.
And thank you, Honey Badger, for the $2 super chat last minute. Thank you guys so much. Follow Honey Badger 0-6, like the bad clips. And so I know you guys got habituated to a 3-hour show. We're actually going longer than that. We've only been doing 2 hours because that's what's going up on YouTube. So subscribe to the channel, become a member for free, and we're expanding to 4 hours actually, right?
We're increasing
7 to
the length
11.
of the show.
Tell them schedule.
Yeah, 7 to 11. So the 7 to 8 Central will be for members only. 8 to 10 will be on YouTube, just like we've been doing this week. And then 10 to 11 will be members only again. So the first part is behind the scenes, us preparing for the show. The members only last part is going to be us taking speakers and stuff.
Us taking speakers there. So we're just changing the format. You're going to actually get more value from us. You can follow me at Real Steven Bak on IG, X, Facebook, and I started a Clipper YouTube channel. It's not doing so well. It's hurting pretty bad.
Just keep fighting it.
Yeah, but we really appreciate all you guys' support. We love you and have a great fucking weekend. God bless America.
Chase Geiser Network.